Hi guys and welcome to Game On Industry Insights. I'm your host Violet and I'm here with...
Hi, I'm the co-host, I'm Jordan Bentley.
And we're here with our guests.
Hi, I'm Holly Newsham and I'm a lead animator at Lucid Games. And
hi, I'm Christian John Duke and I am the animation director at Lucid Games.
Right, so I'm going to ask you some questions about your career journey. So can you both tell us about your journey into the games industry and how you found your way into animation?
You go first.
You want me to go first?
You were first in the industry.
Fair enough. Okay, alright, so I've been in the industry for, it's about 25 years now. I started as work experience at a company in Southport called Traveller's Tales, which then moved to Knutsford, did all the Lego games, that sort of thing. Didn't really know what I wanted to do at the time, and they just kind of put me on a spare computer in the corner and had me animating things. I animated like a pufferfish for Sonic 3D, which was on the Mega Drive. It was like the first game I ever worked on was a Sonic game, which is pretty cool. Then went to university. They offered me a job, but I was just like, no, I want to go to university. I wanted to study that, so went to university.
After already being in games?
Yeah.
Ah.
After work experience, yeah.
Ah.
So went to university, studied animation, studied like traditional animation, that sort of thing. And then I started working at Aardman for like 6 months. Didn't really enjoy working in the film industry. I just found it quite cutthroat and everything. And games just felt more my vibe.
Yeah.
So I ended up working for a company in Bristol. Worked on games like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, that sort of thing. Then moved to Canada. Worked for Ubisoft. Worked on Assassin's Creed, which was kind of cool. Moved back to England. Ended up working at a studio in Liverpool called Bizarre Creations. That closed down just because the industry was the way it was. Yeah. And then moved back to Canada, moved to Toronto, worked on Splinter Cell, Watch Dogs Legion, Far Cry 5. Worked on an animation technology called motion matching. Then had a baby, wanted to move home. Moved home, moved to Liverpool, ended up working for Lucid, and that is how I met Holly. I've been there ever since. There you go, Holly.
My story isn't as long as that. So
That was the short version.
Yeah. So I, when I was in high school, I really liked drawing, and I really liked computers. There wasn't as much as you can do now on computers then, but I really just found them natural to me, and I really liked art. So when I was picking GCSEs, I did those sorts of topics, and I never ever thought about like jobs or what I would do to make money. I was just like, I'll just do what I enjoy, and that's exactly what I did for uni. I was looking at the courses, and I had no idea I was looking at graphic design and I don't know, the camera technician actually, and like media studies and all sorts of things. Like I wasn't even thinking of animation particularly. I'd never animated anything, and then I kept seeing the animation module in like media studies uni courses, and I thought animation, that sounds cool. I'd love to just spend 3 years learning how they made Shrek. Is literally the thought that I had. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And then I ended up going to uni in South Wales. I really loved the vibe there. And I only picked computer animation because it was between like 2D and 3D, the two different courses. And I only picked computer because I just asked my dad and he said, well, computers are the future, so go with that. And then I graduated from uni. And then I was like, oh God, I took a couple of months off first, just to chill because you need that. And then I was like, oh no, I'm never going to get a job. Suddenly it was just like, I'm not good enough. Like I'm just so, but I need to learn more. I don't know what else I would do myself. I need someone to give me a job. And then I was looking, and then I was just, very quickly, I was applying for every animation job ever. So film, TV, games. I really wanted to go into advertising because there was an advert at the time of a moonwalking pony, and it was for $3, and I just really loved that advert, and I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to animate like really realistic
Moonwalking ponies.
Animals. Yeah. So I was like, but they were all like London studios, and I applied, I think, but it was so competitive at the time that I suppose I don't even know if I heard back from them. And then I very quickly went to panic. And I started applying for jobs. That was where camera technician. I was like camera technician on Hollyoaks, advertising for washing machines, and anything that was like vaguely like video editing would at least be a little bit like it. And this was only over the space of 2 months. I'd suddenly panicked and thought, I'm never gonna get a job in animation. I'm just gonna do anything.
Just to get out there and build up the experience.
Yeah, and then it was around then that I heard back from Lucid Games, and they said, do you want to come in for an informal talk? Because they were quite small at the time, so I didn't even have an interview. I went in, and I left my nan outside, thinking I'd only be, because informal chat, I thought it would only be half an hour. It was raining. My nan was in Mackey's for what was like 3 hours, because I just started talking to one of our like technical wizards.
Wasn't there?
He wasn't there.
That wasn't there.
Mike Waterworth is his name, and he was in the games industry before PlayStation, so he knows everything about everything. And and even now, like I get talking to him, and I'll just talk for hours and hours. And we were talking about, because I'd rigged a pig on my show reel, and we were just moaning about how hard it is to rig really fat characters, and so it was hours and hours. Anyway, I was like, this is really good. That's really nice. I really hope. And I tried to ask one of the founders of the company. He had brought me in, and I said to him, how did it go? Do you think I got it? And he's like, I can't tell you that. And then so I left. I got my nan. She was fine. She was like, it better have been worth it. And and then the week after, I think they messaged back and they were like, yeah, did you want a job? And I was like, yes, please. And then I started, and it was only me and Mike at the time. Christian wasn't there. And then I started work on a VR game.
You talk about that.
Yeah. So I was working on that for I think it was 6 months or a year. And we'd finished it. It was a dog dragon. You have to look after this dog dragon and go on adventures with it in VR. And it was the cutest thing ever. 6 months in, that's when Christian started, and then I got actual animation feedback, and I started learning loads of stuff. So that was really good. And then and then that we finished it, but it just never. They're still telling me now we could chip it whenever. It's never gonna go. It's never gonna get released. And then after that we worked on Destruction All Stars, which was a really cool destruction derby multiplayer.
With parkour.
Characters parkouring in cars and getting out of cars, and it was very, very cool. Best characters I've ever animated. And then I've had a couple of co-dev projects since then. But it was all worth it. But I have went straight to panic very quickly there. And then I've been at Lucid now for 8.5 years.
Oh, okay.
So, and that was and I'm just happy because it's in Liverpool, which is where my nan lives, obviously.
Yeah.
But now all my family live here. We're actually from there. My mum and dad grew up here, so it's meant to be.
Yeah.
So it'd take a lot to get me.
Plus,
out
you
of
made
Liverpool.
a connection with all the other people working
Yeah.
there as
Well,
well.
on that interview, sitting in front of me was my now fiance, Steve.
Oh, wow.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So Nick was like, "Oh, Steve was he was not long out of uni. Steve, tell Holly it's all right, isn't it, working here?" And he turned around, and he's very work mode. He's
there, just got hearts in his eyes. It's like a proper meet.
No, he was like, yeah, it's all right, yeah. And then got back to put his headphones on. He was, because he's a programmer. He's now a tech director. And and I was like, he seems a bit full of himself.
You didn't know this podcast was going to be about her.
I know, yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Known you both for years as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Alright, that's cool.
So,
She's still learning new things.
yeah.
Well,
I didn't know that he'd gone into the games industry before you.
we went to the same university.
Yeah.
Yeah, we found out after about 2 years working with each other.
Yeah, in
So,
Cardiff, yeah. And then one of my best friends, she now works at Lucid as well, and she was at uni in Cardiff too.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
it's just.
So it turns out it was an animation hub without
Yeah.
realising it.
Just
So-
everyone in Cardiff just slowly going.
Yeah.
Well, so the university that we were at when I was there was in Newport.
Okay.
And then it combined with Holly's university, just became this big thing.
Yeah.
I was at the university. Have you ever seen the show on Netflix, Sex Education?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that place.
Oh, is
Oh,
it?
That's
Cool.
my university.
Oh, okay.
So, and then
The one
it
in
closed.
Newport.
The one in Newport,
Oh.
yeah, and then it closed down and became a film set.
Oh, okay.
So, but that used to be my university.
Wow.
So
Fun
when you see him
fact.
walking around the halls and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff, I'm like, I've been there. I learned to animate that. That's weird. So yeah, it's crazy. But
Yeah.
there you go.
It's
We're
funny.
learning things.
Yeah, it's funny just how like things are meant to be. But yeah.
Okay.
Just a quick question before we carry on. Would you recommend doing work experience before university, or?
Yeah, for me, I think the industry is very different now. So I think Holly's probably got more relevant answers to that. But when I joined the work industry, it's like it was the best way to get in the industry was to do work experience. It was like I don't know how it works so much now. I know that when we have interns, we pay them. When I did it, it was free. So it was.
I know that was one of the things that a lot of people said when they were doing work experience or being interns. They were complaining that you don't get paid.
You should. I feel
Yeah.
like you should. Lucid do. Lucid pay. So we've had people from. I think we've had third years before. I don't know whether we've had anyone from here, but we've had
Okay.
third years from other universities that have come to us,
Yeah.
and they've spent a large portion of their time. I think their second year, maybe. I think it is second
Yeah.
or third year. I don't know who it is. You
I
know
think it's
better.
between second and third.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it might
after
be that. They
second
spent,
year,
they
then
spent,
they go
they
back
spent a
into
portion of
their
time with
third year.
us, and the work on an actual game will pay them,
Yeah.
and then they go back, and then a lot of people have come back to us
Yeah.
after that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So it's a really good way of doing that. So, like, I'd say for Lucid especially, I
Yeah.
think it's a really good way of doing it. When I said I did it, I did work experience after school,
Yeah.
and I was there for like 3 hours, something like that. And then I'd sometimes, this was when the industry worked on the weekends as well, which it shouldn't. But so I'd go in on weekends as well, and,
Yeah.
and I was learning loads of stuff. And then I was offered a job at the end.
Okay.
But knowing what I know now, I'm glad I didn't take that job because they tried to lowball me.
Yeah.
They were
And you
like,
would have missed out on uni.
Yeah.
And uni's such
my mum was adamant that she was like, okay, it's like if you're gonna go and do this, go and do it properly.
Yeah.
So she was like, go to university.
Yeah.
So and I like to cook. At
Well,
university
that
as well. So
that
I like
was
to be a human outside of the world.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that was a thing for me. I didn't know what to do myself going through education, and then I decided to come here. Probably, I'm trying to think how old I was now. Probably 20. Came here about when I was 20, and I was actually going to be doing another course, doing esports.
Okay.
But then I got persuaded to do games design, which I actually really enjoyed, and I decided to go into uni because I thought I'd rather do university first and then look into the work experience, do it that way instead.
Yeah.
So I've got the two sides of the coin, basically.
Yeah.
And now you're also trying to go into mocap and animation.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, but work experience is definitely is like if you
I'd
can
say
get it.
it's ideal, but that is the big thing. It's like if you can get it, it is
Yeah.
so competitive, and I wouldn't like hold out starting your career because you want to
Yeah.
get work experience first. It's
Yeah.
like, I mean, obviously try like definitely like for people that are still in like sort of first, second, you like always just apply to everything because
Yeah.
you don't know what you might get. So, but also if you don't get it, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just like, just apply for like graduate and junior roles, like because they're going to understand. We always understand. Like you'll come straight out of uni.
Yeah.
We're never
There's
expecting.
there's expectations
you to
that
have
that will have,
experience.
So
Yeah.
it's like
It's great if you do, but it's portfolio. It's
Yeah.
like if you're really good, then you're
yeah,
really good.
if we open up like graduate, intern, or junior roles, there's an expectation that there's a certain level that we're going to expect from you,
Yeah.
and we're ready to help you
Yeah.
build on that.
Yeah.
It would be very difficult to if you had a big team, or if you just had like me and then Holly. It worked with just us two,
Yeah.
just because there was only like one or two projects. I think there was.
Well, it was just strong for
It was
me.
like it was just one, and then I was working on another project, and because I didn't have a team, I could focus on Holly. It would be difficult for me to focus on a team of juniors.
Yeah.
But now what we do is as we kind of like move up and everything through that. Now when we get juniors and everything, like Holly or someone on Holly's team will start to look after them, and they will do
Yeah.
for them what we did for them.
Okay.
So it's like we're paying it forward the entire
Yes.
time.
Okay.
I think the team is like 14 now. I think something like that.
Something
14,
like that, yeah.
14, 15, and it started as
Me and Mike
yeah,
started as Mike.
well, and then I came
Yeah.
6 months.
I
after
hired him.
so-
I didn't.
Yeah, you probably could have said no. So,
Not at that point. I wouldn't have.
yeah, but it's if you can get it. It's if you can get it. That's the main thing.
But it's not like a be all and end all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did.
Some like you do see some of the like larger, because they're so competitive, they're able to like to put on junior roles like, oh, you should have like 6+ months
Yeah.
of work experience.
Yeah.
Whatever. I think even then it's like if you have a super duper
Yeah.
show reel, then none of that really. I'd like to think none of that really matters. They should look at that, but most places they'll understand that you won't have that. It doesn't really like.
Because it's so difficult to get
It would be nice. It's a desirable.
Yeah.
It's not like oh my god, they don't have work experience.
Yeah.
Why would we hire them? Yeah.
Okay. So one of the questions that we have is what were some of the key milestone turning points that actually helped shape your careers in general, really, not just at Lucid? What would you say?
For me, it was Christian.
Yeah.
It's been really good. It's nice that like I came to a very small company in Liverpool called Lucid.
What was it called?
Lucid
Yeah.
in Liverpool. With no real, I just wanted a job. I wasn't expecting anything. I didn't really know what I was going to do. I didn't know whether I still would go and animate that advert for the pony. But then 6 months in, a director from Ubisoft that worked on Assassin's Creed and whatever else he said, those are the titles. You know, he just happened to like then come, and because of his connections in Bazaar and obviously being from Liverpool, he then comes, and then that just jump started everything for me, because at uni you learn a little bit, but we didn't really have YouTube, and that wasn't like a big thing then either. So you only really knew what you kind of taught yourself, and like so it was barely anything, and then that was just like, oh my god, I didn't know that, and like you just suddenly like learn so much about animation, and it's just really important to have that like strong mentor that'll tell you those things and tell you where to work on and what to look out for.
And has all the answers to questions that you couldn't have maybe asked.
Yeah, and then
before.
you're learning just. Yeah, and still, because there's just so much to learn as well, and then so I was very lucky to then by like osmosis, is that even a word? I don't know.
Yeah.
All of his experience and everything he's learned, then I just get, and I don't have to go like to.
Yeah.
I didn't work on like Assassin's Creed and stuff. I just got to learn his lessons and then sort of take them on and then take them into projects myself and then and do whatever I want with that and then like extend that from there. So yeah, I was very lucky to have a mentor like that. Just kind of like just join. Like, at the perfect time for me.
Holly and I are very aligned with how, I don't know whether it's just because we spent so much time with each other, but we're very aligned with how we think about development and how we make games and how we want to do things.
Yeah.
Which has really helped because we don't work on the same team right now. So we're in the same studio, but Holly's on one team, I'm on a different team. Holly's the lead of her team. I don't have anything to do with her team.
Yeah.
You know, it's like every now and again I'll kind of just go, oh, can you show me this? And we talk about things, but it's all Holly.
Yeah.
And it's really nice for me to see all of that, especially considering I've known Holly pretty much for 6 months in the industry.
Yeah.
So going from all the way from that all the way through to lead. So that's been huge for me. It's like Holly's been the person I've worked with the longest in the entire industry. I haven't because I've always gone from company to company for about like 4 or 5 years. Yeah. And I've been at Lucid for 8 years now. Okay. So it's really nice for me to see that. So that's a milestone for me, even though she said that's huge. I feel like at every studio I've been at, I've learned something. I've taken something. I remember the first studio was just first experience working in a game. Yeah. You know, it's like I worked on, like I started off as a modeler, and then I became an animator, and it was like, and I became a lead animator very quickly. More because there wasn't anyone else to do it, not because I was the best person to do it.
But because no one else could take up
but it was
role.
a trial by fire, and I had to learn. And then, you know, I realised I felt like I burnt out very, very quickly. To me, it was too much progression too quick. Yeah. And as great as that sounds, it wasn't.
You felt like you needed to take the time.
I needed to learn from someone.
Yeah.
Like and this is the thing I always wanted to avoid. It's like, I wish I'd had someone like me to learn off the way
Yeah.
Holly has. Yeah, it's like that would have made my life a lot easier, but I had to kind of work it all out, and there wasn't a huge amount of people to learn from.
Yeah.
So then when I went to Ubisoft in Montreal, it was like this was before YouTube. Email had only just started. I know this sounds like it's ages ago. Email had only just started. I had to physically send a burned copy of my showreel to Canada, and then send an email just to say I've applied.
Was
and
it
they
DVD or video?
DVD.
Ah.
DVD, yeah. And I got the whole thing. I did the whole kind of DVD case, and I put like
Did you have
reviews.
a picture of yourself on the cover?
No, but
Oh.
I'll show you. But I've got
Hide me.
yeah. But I had like reviews on the back from from GQ magazine for some
Stop.
reason. No, it said ostentatious.
Oh, it wasn't reviews from real people on the back.
No,
That
it
would
was
be-
fake. It was all
That would
fake.
have been
It was all
great.
fake.
You know, if you'd have talked to
it-
people that you'd work with
But this is how, yeah.
and reviewed you like a
Yeah.
DVD.
But I didn't want anyone to know that I was looking for another job. So this is the thing. Is like I didn't. When I
Feedback
was
from your
li-
mum.
yeah, but it was but this was it. It's like because now you just put your showreel on YouTube or on Vimeo or wherever you're going to put it. You didn't have that back then, so you had to present yourself.
Yeah.
So you can't just put a DVD in the post. You had to. I knew that I was sending a DVD that was going to be sent to a studio that had hundreds of people looking at showreels, so I had to make mine stand out.
Yeah.
So you had to do a presentation before a presentation.
Yeah.
So I sent it, didn't hear anything back for 3 weeks. And then I get a phone call from an unknown number. I think I only just got a mobile phone like about 6 months before, I think it was.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then
times.
it was someone speaking French to me down the phone, and then would you like to have an interview? I'm like, yes, this would be incredible.
Did he say it in French?
They started speaking in French, and then
Didn't realise.
And then at the time, they realised that I didn't speak
Yeah.
French, so they were just like, okay, switch to English very quickly. And then I think a week later, I had a phone interview, half an hour phone interview, very, very awkward. Couldn't see them, they couldn't see me. It was part in French, part in English, because I can speak French. And it was very awkward. And then, again, a week after that, they were like, great, we've offered you a job, come out to Montreal. But so then there I actually learned how to be
French.
be a game developer, because I got to work with people that I felt it was
not
first
the
proper
knowledge.
imposter syndrome I've ever had.
Yeah.
And I was in a room with people that had just finished making Prince of Persia: Sands of Time.
Oh wow.
And I love that game.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, the animation director that was on that game was sat right next to me.
Wow.
And I was just like, and then all the programmers and everything there, and I was the only external hire on Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
The only external hire. Everyone else had come from another Ubisoft team.
Yeah.
And I was the only external hire. So everyone thought I was incredible, and I was just like, I don't know why I'm here.
Yeah. I don't. Well, talking about like you saying about the team that worked on Prince of Persia
Yeah.
was there for like the Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I don't know how true this is or not, but did they use aspects from Prince of Persia
It was Prince of
to Assassin's Creed?
It was Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
It was Prince of Persia Next Gen.
Yeah.
The trailers that we were shown internally said, pop Next Gen. That was it. And it was also a two-player game.
Oh, okay.
It was a co-op game.
Which
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed was this?
First one.
It
Oh,
was
well,
the
was
very
it
first
the
one.
original?
Yeah, the first one.
He didn't have a mobile, so
So
games don't just come out.
and there you go. The other story is so I wrote a blog because that was the only way that this was before MSN Manager. There was no WhatsApp. There was no
Yeah.
Wi-Fi. Would only just happen, right? There was all these things. There was all these things. This is how long I've been in the industry, and I used to write a blog that was telling all my friends back home, this is what life in Canada's like, because I was
Yeah.
the first one to ever leave to go to another country. And
Yeah.
I used to write all these things. And it was things like, oh, this is really fun. Like, look at all these things you have to do in Montreal. It's like so different to England and
Experience in the world.
experience in the
You
world.
made
Yeah,
your own social media.
yeah. I made my own social media before Facebook. It was
What a
so-
claim to fame.
yeah. So I
Should've
made my
got
own
in
social
there with
media.
the money.
But I wrote a blog about a game I was working on, which and I put the name of the game on there, not thinking anyone was going to see it.
Yeah.
IGN picked it up.
Oh.
I had I think it was 500,000 hits on my blog in 24 hours.
How did IGN find it?
They have people. They
Just
have
like
people. I
searching
don't know
for
how. They
keywords,
just
I guess.
they what they do is they check they do checks for names
That's
and for people that work at
amazing.
certain studios.
Yeah.
And I think they could see that there was. I don't know how they found it, but they found it. So anyway, the next day, Jay Raymond calls me into her office, and then just goes, "You might want to look at this."
Oh.
And then she was like, "You need to take it down immediately."
Yeah.
So I took it down, thinking I was going to get fired. And then they sent me to E3, which was like this big video games expo.
Yeah.
But they gave you media training.
They gave me media
No.
training. Yeah, they gave me media training so I wouldn't say things that I'm not supposed to say. So that was a milestone. But
I can't
again,
believe you didn't get fired.
no, neither can I.
I guess
Neither can I.
mistakes can happen.
Well,
It's
they also
nice.
they offered me a job back when I came back as well.
Yeah.
They,
So-
they probably looked and went, well,
He didn't
he
mean
does
it.
really well. We're maybe a bit low on.
I mean, they got free marketing.
Yeah,
they got free
that as
marketing.
well,
You
yeah.
can still find that to this day.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
didn't take it down.
If you type my name and IGN,
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, it comes up with the article in
Okay.
You took the
2000.
blog down there.
Took the blog down,
Yeah.
but it's still there. The IGN article's still there.
Internet.
So, but it's still there. It's called Ubisoft's Killer Doctrine, I think it is. And it announces Assassin's Creed. I was the first person to announce Assassin's Creed.
Wow.
The first one as
The
well.
first one.
Wow.
The first person to ever
That's
say
an
the word Assassin's
accomplishment.
Creed.
Yeah.
It's like it's weird. It's weird thinking back, but yeah, I was the first person
Yeah.
to do that. But
It's nice how understanding they
just-
were that a mistake can happen like that.
yeah, considering how big that game is
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
When you really think about it, it is one of the biggest franchise games out there.
yeah.
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 Prob-
So that was huge. So getting
Yeah.
to work on that, and then I relearned how to be a lead,
Yeah.
and how to lead a team. Then I moved back to England and I built a team from scratch for the first time.
Yeah.
I was working with programmers, I was working with animators, I was working with designers, and I was taking all the things I'd learned from Ubisoft and I was trying to apply it to this new studio that didn't really have a clue. So we kind of built up their pipeline, just gutted how their animation was going to work, and then that was when I realised that if you empower the animators to just create content,
Yeah.
you get way better content.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you put too much friction in the way to get an animation in the game, then animators tend to just animate it once and go, yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
So if you
Plus,
make
you've
it,
got to have
yeah.
that time to really put the work in instead of getting it
animators'
rushed.
time should be spent animating,
Yeah.
animating, and then if they want to get involved in the systems and everything, that's fine. But again, friction should be removed. from
Yeah.
it. So I learned that from there. Then I decided to take a step back from being a lead and just become a senior again, and that was a choice.
Okay.
Because I didn't want the responsibility of a team, but I wanted to contribute to a project.
Yeah.
So I kind of again I took a step back and then relearned my craft, relearned how to be an animator. That was really, really fun. I just focused on just animating. I think I learned Motion Builder as well at the time. And then I moved to Toronto, and then the milestone there was I was the animation director at Ubisoft.
Yeah.
So I was kind of elevated to this level now where I could just go and talk to people, and it kind of gave you this confidence to just kind of walk into a room and go, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a decision. And
Especially in a company like Ubisoft.
well, that was the thing. Before, everyone else had been making decisions and I'd been executing their decisions. This was the first time that my decisions mattered.
Yeah.
So I was working on Splinter Cell and going, this is what I think we should do, this is how we should do this is who we're going to work with, this is what we're going to do with mocap. I would direct the mocap
Yeah.
sheets. So these are all these things were, I started to kind of grow all these skills that have made me where I am today. And then I kind of got bored of working for big companies.
Yeah.
Just because decisions just got removed from you, even no matter how high you were.
Yeah.
You still had to go through like 20 people to make a very basic change.
Yeah.
So then working at Lucid, I could be an animation director in a small company.
It felt a lot smoother.
Yeah, and I was a bigger fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
But the great thing about
At
that
that point,
is
it was like 30.
we were
35?
I was employed 51.
Oh, really?
I was employed 51. Yeah. So
Still quite small.
still quite small because there were 240,
How many people are at
250.
Ubisoft? On a project, like the project you were
400. Yeah.
on a project.
Yeah.
And there's multiple, isn't there, as well?
Yeah.
Wow.
Multiple studios as well.
That's a big.
So we were waiting. So then I got to work at Lucid, and then I got to not only be the animation director, but I got to animate, and I got to work with people like Holly and people like we've got like an Unreal ninja who's amazing at everything. A guy called Andy Jones, and
There's lots of ninjas at Lucid.
yeah, Yeah, very, very talented people. And I got to work directly with him implementing game mechanics.
Yeah.
And that's some of the most fun I've ever had on a game. But in 25 years, that's the most fun I've ever had on.
Yeah.
This is including like Assassin's Creed and all those games. Because I was so into what I was doing.
Yeah.
It was really good, and especially when you go from where it was to where it ended up.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you get to lead a team of people and explain how you want to do things.
Yeah.
Was
Because you've got the idea in your head of...
It was very, very clear what I wanted to
Yeah.
do, and I knew how to go from nothing to something.
Yeah.
And that's something I couldn't have done like 15, 20 years ago. You know, so, but yeah. So there's lots of little milestones that have all kind of created that.
Yeah.
But
They all come together to...
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah, Kristen, as an animation director, what drew you to leadership in animation, and how has it evolved over time? I think we touched on that a little bit just then with how...
Probably, yeah.
A little bit. I think leadership kind of found me. I think that I've always been...
running away from it.
Yeah, I keep running away and it keeps coming back to me.
It's one of them things, would you say that you're not... It's creative for you, basically. You make it yourself.
Yeah, I
100%, I'd say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you can... I like leading teams. I really like pulling people together to make something creative. Every time someone else has taken a lead, I try and take a step back. But then at some point, I always find myself just going, just give it to me. I'll do it. And that's not because I don't think someone else can do it. It's more of I've got a very clear idea in my head of how something can and should be done.
Yeah.
And there's traits in Holly that it's crazy again because like knowing you from the first day at Lucid to where you are now, it's like Holly's just kind of grown in confidence, and I think you've got to be quite self-assured.
Yeah.
To be.
You've got to be
lead of
confident
people.
in yourself, and that
Yeah.
you know that you've got the trust in yourself that you're able to not only have confidence in yourself,
Yeah.
but confidence in the people around you, that you can lead them and show them.
I remember when I got the job as an animation director in Toronto, I remember thinking that I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And this was 15 years into my career. 15 years into my career, something like that. And it's like, I didn't think I was ready. And then the creative director at the time said, you are ready, you just don't know it yet, you've just got to do it.
Yeah.
And then I just ended up just kind of... And then the rest of the team trusted that I could do a job. It's like they gave me enough of an opportunity to mess up. And then in that first 6 months, it was crucial that I kind of got everyone on board and made sure that we sorted the right things out, and I made some core decisions. And that brought me a lot of kind of credit with the rest of the team, and then people could see that I was good at what I did. I like leading by example as well. I don't like telling someone to do something that I won't do myself.
Yeah.
I'm very much like, I'll animate and I'll show you how.
You want to work alongside them.
I want to collaborate. That's exactly how Holly basically developed as
I think
well.
that's one of probably the main things, isn't it, of being a leader, to show that you will work alongside them.
Yeah.
That the work's not just them doing it.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah.
No. It's like I remember when the conversation I had with Holly when we promoted her from senior to lead, and Holly going, so what do I do now? What's different? And I was like, nothing. You're kind of doing it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give you a
I
team
think it
now.
was to senior.
Yeah, it was like you weren't, and I remember the conversation
One
of
of
you
them,
weren't
yeah.
sure of what do I do now. I was like, you just kind of got to absorb this. I remember going from senior to lead, because senior was more like it was just more responsibility and higher quality of what she was doing before, but she was kind of already doing that. We just took us a while to kind of get that promotion. When Holly became a lead, it was right, now we're going to give you a team that you have to tell what to do.
Yeah.
Only had the team.
And you had your own way of wanting to organise things, and you'd
Yeah.
seen how I'd organise things. And I think at the beginning you were just like, well, I'll try this and I'll try that. And Holly's leadership style is different to mine.
Yeah. Because you
Um,
create your own
You do.
thing.
You take all experiences from everything that you've learned, good and bad,
Yeah.
and you put it into...
You gotta put your own spin on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Holly leads a team completely different to what I do.
It's all
So-
fun and rainbows. But sorry, you still
No,
answering?
I'll finish. Yeah. No.
Is there a question to me? I don't know.
Well,
My
carrying on.
leadership
Well,
style.
carrying on from that, what would you say? Like how you feel with the leadership?
I love it.
Yeah.
I really love it. I think I think that conversation happened when I stepped into senior, because that was like I didn't know about what the difference is for that. But with like when I stepped into the lead, I just felt like it was like I was so, let's like just give it to me, because like I was so ready for it. It was like that was where I should have always been, but like I'm really happy that that's where like I am now, because
you've got to that
I'm
point.
like I was like this is exactly like this is me all over.
I remember, you just reminded me now, we had a very kind of, not awkward, but we had a very frank conversation, I think about like a month or two before. I'd always assumed that Holly wanted to become a principal. And a principal in the games industry is someone that's just very, very, very good at doing the thing. They don't have any management responsibilities. They don't do anything. And the way Holly, the way she was working on her animation, the way she was working, I was just like, well, it seems right to assume.
Animation.
Yeah, it just seemed right to assume that she just wanted to just continue on that path and become the very best at just doing that.
Yeah.
And this isn't to say that she's not going down that path anyway. But then when I spoke to her, and we'd advertised for a lead position, I hadn't even considered Holly. And I hadn't considered her, not because I didn't think she could do it, but because I assumed she wanted to do something else.
Yeah.
So Holly, it kind of showed that her leadership anyway, because she came to me very honestly and just went, why can't I be a lead? And I was just like, and I just said, I didn't think you wanted to be a lead.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I'm great with people, I like this and everything.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
which is the qualities of a lead.
yeah. And I went away and thought about it literally for I think about like 2 hours, and then just went, no, you're right.
Yeah,
right. You're absolutely right. And then it was, but the relationship that Holly and I have, she can talk to me that way and just go, I don't agree with your decision.
Yeah.
And for someone with the amount of experience that I've got, and at the time the amount of experience Holly had, for her to have
the courage to speak
the courage to absolutely, to 100% to absolutely speak up and say, I think you're wrong. I was just like, oh my god, okay.
We've had one.
Yeah.
Well, again, I'm very lucky with that, because obviously I've been working with Christian now for 8 years. It was sort of like around like when we were shipping DAS, like that 4-year kind of thing. Even like that was when like it started to be. He wasn't as scary to me. He was more like someone that I could just talk to. I think the pandemic especially made that like a lot more, because we were very like.
We were in it together. You were in it together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
It was definitely kind of a.
So there was a lot of like sort of confiding. So like we have like cultivated a really nice relationship now, where like it's really nice to have someone that's like above you, that you can really just have really open and honest conversation with. Because sometimes you're not happy with like decisions that have been made, or you're just not happy. Like I've had a load of like sort of life things happen, and I've just been like, it's really nice to have like a leader. Yeah.
That you can speak up to, because sometimes you at the start you're unsure.
Lots of people don't
up.
have that.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of, and that's what that's a particular part that I really like in my leadership thing, where it's like I really want to always have that. You can say anything to me.
Yeah.
Any like, you know, if you're not enjoying something, if you've got like some problems like happening like outside of work, any like sort of, never ever think that you can't say that, because like everybody's just humans trying to do their best. So it was really nice, like quite early on we had that, and we had like some sort of, which we've talked to death over now, but of things where I've had an idea of what I wanted to do in a game, and Christian's been like, I'm not really sure that that's going to work, and I'm like, no, I reckon it will. And that was quite like,
a couple of times.
And that was like when I was like, that was when I was going into senior, that kind of like, so it was still quite early on, but it was nice because it was never like a no, that won't work, don't talk to me. It was like a okay, like if you want to try it, and then I'd go away and I'd put something. I did the Twinkle Riot character. She in DAS, she's like pink cat helmet girl. If you see DAS, like she's the icon, and she's mine. So I did all the animation for her, But yeah, her particularly, our actor on set of the mocap, she had a really like amazing run, and we pushed it, and I was like, oh, I want it to be like this, and we got it, and he was like, I'm not sure about that. Like, let's capture like a let's
get a safe one.
Which we both did at the same time, which was cool, because I was like, oh my god, I was thinking the same thing. Like, I guess I know like some stuff.
Yeah.
And and then I was like, I'm gonna try it, because I reckon I can make it work. There was a few transitions as well that was quite like pirouettes and things, which we'd never really like.
Yeah, it's like, again, it's like
quite complicated
I
stuff.
feel like because of my background and how I like to put together systems. I was like, I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah.
But
I didn't
let's try.
have any. I had basically no. For the whole of DAS, I had no. I've never, and I still have that kind of like outlook on. I never really think of the systems because I just think we can make it work. I want it to. I don't want to box our idea off because that might not work. I want to get the coolest thing, and let's cut it when we know it won't work.
Yeah.
And those couple of characters, because that run turned out to be like the most amazing thing that everybody saw. They were like, oh my god, that run's great. And then there was like a character select as well that I hadn't even really played them. I played games, but games that I really like. So character select screens, and hadn't really seen many of them. Christian told me, one of my first animations on DAS, he was like, make a character select for this character, and I was like, okay, cool. He was like, oh, she needs to like go into it, kind of be there. She gets selected. You might go out of that selection screen to go back to pick another character.
Yeah, that was all the direction I gave her. I didn't say what it should look like, how it should look. I just literally gave her the 5 parts that we needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it. And just let your
and
imagination
I hadn't really seen like much context for that.
Yeah.
And I didn't really think too much into it. All I thought of it was I thought of her as a real life character, and I thought, okay, well, if she'll be standing there and she'll be chilling. And then if she got selected, someone's picked her to be on their team, then she'd be like really happy. So she was like really happy, and then she went into this like happy idol. And then that transition then like, oh, you're going to pick a different character, you don't want her anymore. I was like, well, she'd be sad about that, wouldn't she?
Yeah.
So then she had this kind of like, I did like a bit of a, but like, okay, whatever, like, well, and then she goes back to her normal idol. And I showed this to Christian, and he was like, was she sad then? And I was like, yeah, because you deselect her. And he was like, that's amazing.
I want to select
it. Yeah. Well, it became a thing. It was like, because I think I'd given Holly these like very loose constraints of an in, an idol, an out, another idol, and an intro character, an intro where it comes, and then, but Holly, in her head, she'd put so much personality into each one of these. When I saw the character was sad when he deselected, I was like, I'd never even thought of that. I just thought it was just going to be like a
because
straight
you never see any other games
I just didn't think, and then I was like, that's incredible. I love that.
Yeah.
Can we lean into it and make it bigger? And then the more animators that worked on us, the bigger and bigger they got, and they became
everybody
these
had
moments.
a bespoke deselect.
Yeah.
So some of them were angry, some of them were sad, some of them didn't have any. They were
some
like,
of them
whatever.
just didn't care, but they all had an emotion, and we used that as a really good way of, before you've even played the game, you could work out what type of character you're going to get from just that character select.
Plus, but plus when you've got a game that has something like a mechanic like that, it makes the game stand out so much more.
Well, people did really like it on launch.
Yeah.
And it was really happy to see people's like reactions to like.
Well, whenever we were playtesting, people loved seeing the new characters. They were like, "Oh my god, this is my favourite! I love this! I love this!"
Yeah.
And it was
great. And then when people noticed that, like, because we were in the internal ones very early on playtests, we'd go over and we'd be like, oh, I don't think you should pick that character. Pick someone else because we've animated that other one. And then they'd because they didn't know it had gone in, they'd see it, the deselect, and they'd be like, oh, that was cool. I want to deselect someone else.
Someone was going in, selecting characters, deselecting them, and then doing that.
It was great to see that, like that reaction, like firsthand.
But like people noticing the small details.
Yeah.
Well, this was it, but this was again. This kind of comes from like going back to like the leadership thing. It was more of the way I looked at it was. There was no point in me coming down with an iron fist going, no, do it my way and no other way. It was like, it was having that open conversation, allowing and empowering the team to just kind of go, well, I've got an idea. The way I looked at it is I win either way, right? Because if the idea works, then we've got something great. If it doesn't work, then they've learned something and learned that I maybe know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So either way, we win.
And that just snowballed then. So then there was so many, and I was like, because that was my first like proper game that I worked on. And then with those couple of like, they really worked and everyone really liked them and Christian really liked them. So I was like, well, what else can I do? Yeah. And then I just like, and then it was just, and there was like, oh, well, I could just do this and I could just do this. And then it was a very like sort of fast track of learning like loads of different systems and loads of like just the real like the gold of animating, which is like characters that you really love and you really have fun like animating. and then and not having really any, you have the restrictions of like, these are the systems, but then to have this like sort of mindset of, well, it's however I want to dress them, then you start thinking, like, because we have like wall running, and I was like, I'm going to put Pink's, that was her code name, her run on the wall run, because we had like a shared system, so everyone had like quite a, like a base set, and it all worked, but then, then you could suddenly just, there was no end, you were just like, oh, I could do this, and I could do this, and that was such a confidence thing for me, because I was like, because I had basically, well, I had no games experience, and then that was just like everything really, really quickly, and I was like, well, this is great. And then that mindset, because I struggled with that headspace, you know, getting into the characters, like how they would approach a system, a sort of situation, and then figuring out what you want to animate from that. That was like something that we talked about really early on, and that's then that approach I've took to every single thing, because I used to really struggle with that at uni, knowing what to animate, and knowing, and if someone said something like that like the character select thing, like, oh, just animate a character select, I'd be like, oh my god, what? So that's been the key to me, to be like, okay, well, I'll just put myself, which is what my mum always used to say to me, put yourself in their shoes, like, what would they do, how would they feel? And that's how I approach every single thing, and even like I've took that then onto other projects and other games. It's not as simple as it was then, because like that was such a stylistic game, but like even like sort of more realistic, like, you know, actiony things, they're still characters themselves, and you just get really like, you just get such good stuff if you just think,
as you said before, put yourself in.
And you can just approach everything like that, and you can approach directing motion capture like that, because you're like, you want to get them into that same headspace, you want them to put themselves in the character's shoes, and that's where all the answers come from. And it isn't calling on a sort of games you've seen and, oh, I saw this sort of like cool move, like let's just try and replicate something. It's the most organic way and approach you can have, because it's just, you're in a real life character and you're just trying to do whatever you want, and that's like naturally what you want to do as well, because you don't want to just make a game that already exists. You don't want to say like, oh, I really like Assassin's Creed, I'll just
make another Assassin's Creed.
Look at that. It's like, no, like, you know, what are you going to do to elevate it? What are you going to do to like to do your spin on it and
make it stand out more?
And then not, because even now, like, so I've brought that off, like, to roll it back into leadership. That's exactly how I lead a team, and that's like, and I'm like, just forget about everything. Forget about like where it needs to go and whatever, like let's just get something cool and we'll just make it work. And that's exactly what we say on the mocap thing, because they'll sometimes, if they've done mocap before, however they've been directed, they'll get in their heads and be like, oh, well, you'll need this and that, and it's like, no, don't worry about that, like, we just want to get something cool and we'll make it work, that's fine. And they're like, oh my god, okay, well, yeah. I'm like, just get out your head, like, let's just do whatever. And they're like, and then that's what I say to the Maxes, my team. I like, because they'll sometimes get bogged down in that as well, and I'm like, no, you know, making games, it's meant to be fun, it's meant to be cool, forget everything, let's just do something cool. And they're like, okay, yeah, let's do something cool.
Bounce ideas off each other, what can we make that's so
and forget it's a game, like let's just like approach it like it's a movie, like it's real life, and that's just like, that has just helped in every single like scenario, that like that small sort of like mindset thing. It goes into everything, and it's not even just like the approach of games, it's the approach of like just people in general. It's like, it's empathy, isn't it? And it's like, and it is just like sort of having that, like, putting yourself in someone else's sort of thing, because it works for advice. Then people come to me for advice on their teams, or they're struggling with, like, you know, someone really horrible or whatever, and you can easily see another side then, because you're like, okay, well, they're probably thinking this, and this. So it's really quite, you know, and it's all just, everything's just a problem to solve, isn't it? But I love it. I absolutely love it. And I love seeing people be excited and enabling them. So they can go, like, as Christian did with me, it's like, you go and do cool things. I will also do cool things, but I am also very happy to fight for us to do cool things. So I'll go and sit in those meetings and tell them why we're going to do cool things, because that's a no-brainer. And they'll be like, yeah, no, that is a no-brainer. Of course you should do cool things. I'm like, okay. And then everyone's happy. But yeah, so that's where that came from.
So how does the animation process start from a new game or character? What sort of pipeline do you follow?
Okay, so with the way I like to start a team and start a game is usually I'd like to remove all the friction from getting from whatever animation, whatever package you're animating in, all the way to the game. So that might mean that whatever you're animating in Maya looks exactly the same as in the engine. That to me is the first stage. If it doesn't look the same here as it does over here, then what are we doing? Okay, so that's the first thing. I'll work with like the technical team and go. We try and future-proof things. So we'll try and find ways to make sure that animators can export games to the engine nice and quickly. The systems maybe already have components already built, so then we can just go and replace animations. We try and empower the teams as quick as we possibly can. Then once we've kind of got all that technical side out of the way, there's a lot more to it than that. But once we've got the technical side out of the way, then kind of that's where we'll start prototyping gameplay, and we'll start trying things out for like Destruction All-Stars. We were trying out all sorts of things. You talk to design, and then their core thing was, well, we're going to be doing parkour with vehicles that are smashing against each other. So we're like, okay, well, we need to try and work out how are those systems going to fit together. Yeah. Do they even fit together? Right. So we started animating, jumping around, being able to jump over cars, avoid vehicles, and jump into cars in interesting ways. And we kind of felt that there was lots of interesting ways to get into a car that was more than just opening a door.
Yeah.
You know, so you start to look at how the game is gonna tell you what you need to do, and then what you need to do is going to inform how it's going to look, and then you start to try and get reference. So we would do things like we would just literally go and build these they started off as mood videos. It was mood videos to just go, okay, well, here's people jumping into cars, interacting with cars in interesting ways, sliding across the bonnet of a car, jumping in through a sunroof, you know, dancing in front of a car, like, you know. So you watch a lot of Fast and Furious, and you start to look for these moments where people are interacting with cars in interesting ways. Yeah. We started to look at things like, you know, ripping doors off, and what would happen when, like, would that mean you get into a car differently and things like that. But we ultimately decided on making the mood videos took a long time to make. So we started creating these shorter things. We called them KMBs, like kinetic mood boards, which were just GIFs of moments. Like, you know, like, and then you put them all on like a mood board, and then you have that screen there, and it's just constantly there, kind of just. And as Holly said, it's like by osmosis, you just start to take all these ideas in of how to get in, and then that builds a character, and then from that character, you know all this, and usually you know all the systems you have to work with. You know that you've got, like, I need to enter into a vehicle, I need to run on a wall, I need to dodge vehicles, I need to be able to jump, I need to be able to run. So you build all those core foundational systems, and then once you've done that, then you can start to layer in your style. The way I like to work is you build that foundation first. Once you've got that foundation, then you can bring in the people that will make it look pretty. Right? My job at the beginning is not to make things look pretty, it's to get it in. Yeah. Get it in the game quick. Very, very quick. It's like, if an animation takes you longer than 2 days, then
and make sure it's work.
Yeah, it's got to work. It's got to work. You know, it's like, you can make something feel good. We call it the 3 C's. So it's camera, control, it's character, camera, control. Yeah. So, you know, you've got to add character to something. So it's like, what's the character doing? Then you've got to, it's how the character is controlling. How does it feel when you push the stick forward, when you push a button, when you do a melee attack, when you jump in a vehicle? You want that, like, gratification, that satisfaction of pushing a button and it doing a thing. And then you've got the camera, and it's like, what's the camera showing you? Is the camera going to show you what the next action is? Is the camera coming out? Is it going in? Are we doing something dynamic with the camera? How are we doing that? So my focus as an animation director is to get those 3 C's working. And it almost sounds like a design job. Kind of is. Yeah. But it works with the designers. And then if you can get it feeling good without animation look pretty, then adding the pretty animation and all the bells and whistles on the top is just like, that's like the cherry on the top. that's the thing that's going to really elevate it.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. I think that answered the question.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did, yeah. I can imagine as well with the sort of, as you were saying, about there's different ways to get into a car.
Yeah.
It's similar to the introductions you were doing where you put your own like spin on it, and maybe someone would say, oh, like I've got this idea, and you're like, oh, that doesn't really work, but then you just try it out and it does.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a lot of that going on as well, even in that sort of sense?
Well, I think it can be quite, because like Destructional Stars in particular, that was 16 characters. So we had that like functional base, but then at the very beginning, it can be quite overwhelming to have 16. There was, 8 guys and 8 girls.
Yeah, I think so.
That's
Yeah,
that's
I
a
think
split of
we had a
16.
50-50 split. I think.
Yeah, something like that. And it's like, when you just think of that like from like, without considering their character at all, it's quite overwhelming to be like, how are we going to make each one of these things unique?
Yeah.
So that's where like we really let into the moving mood boards, and every character had their own song, like their favourite song that you think them as a character would be listening to, like if they were, walking to work or whatever. And those like sort of things then got you into that thinking of the headspace, and then you approached how are you going to dress that differently, and because very quickly it can a typical sort of girl, like you could very easily sort of like blasé and make them all very, very similar, but we managed to get them that just very nuanced difference.
Have their own personality.
Because we went into who they were as like a character, and how just very subtle differences of how I was saying before. We were really inspired by the Big Hero 6 character exploration, because that was Big Hero 6, 6 different characters, and they were like completely like human biped characters, and each one of them entered a room and sat down, and it was such a small thing, but each one of them was very, very different, and that was our inspiration then to bring into each one of those characters, to just do that cherry on the top. And it was much less overwhelming to just take it step like each character at a time, because you knew, and you didn't have the pressure of making each one of them individually work, because it already worked. So you were just doing like the cool thing on top, and that's like what we tried to do in every project.
Our version of the Big Hero 6 thing was someone appears in front of a camera, there's a car behind them, so they're all it's framed the same way. So there's a car behind them, they appear on screen, they do a vamp to camera, so they do something that's their personality, and then they run and jump into the vehicle. And that was every single character had to be able to do that at the beginning. At the beginning, every single character had to do that at the beginning. Okay. And then once we knew what that was, that would inform the rest of the character.
Yeah.
We also tried to get, because we used, we had Steamroller, an external company, for co-development, so they helped us out with like animating these characters, because we were a very small team at that time, and we decided very early on that every animator had their own character, because I got very attached to one of the characters I was animating at the beginning, and it's like that's where like if you encourage that ownership over like she's yours, do it like however you think, like obviously with like sort of feedback, and like that livery swap was the first challenge, so we'd assign like
there was definitely ownership there.
An animator, that was that first animators challenge, like this is your character, these are the restrictions, but it's got to be like something different for that character, and then everything then like flow. Once we approved that, I say we, like it was all Christian, then everything then came from, and you could use that as reference to be like, well, let's add that flair that if you were stuck on an idea and stuff like that, and that was like really cool.
Again, it became a collaboration. It was almost like an animation test.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really a test. We weren't testing to see whether we wanted to hire them. We were testing them to kind of go, because like the hardest part about animation is starting. Yeah. Right? It's like when you don't know where you're going from. It's just like, so we try to find ways of jump-starting inspiration, and the KMBs and the piece of music and how you get into a vehicle. You have those three together, then straight away you go, well, I kind of know what this character is. This music sounds like really aggressive, so that means they're going to run, and the way they're going to turn round, and the way they're going to start running is going to be really good. And then that kind of went into when we started to go to the mocap stage. We would hire performers that we felt that would embody those characters.
Yeah.
Because you know, like I'm a firm believer with motion capture is when you hire an expert, let them be the expert.
Yeah.
There's no point in hiring an expert and then me saying, do this exactly how I want you to do it. Because what's the point?
Yeah, because they're
It's-
like, well,
yeah.
I'm the one who knows how
Yeah,
to do it.
exactly. So you have to lean into that. So
Yeah.
we hired dancers and stunt performers and
Olympians.
actors and Olympians and parkour experts.
Yeah.
And we had this very kind of eclectic mocap set of all these people that would never come together in any walk of life. And they're all on set and they're all going, oh my god, you're an amazing dancer. How do you do that thing that you do?
Yeah.
And then you have an actor that kind of really projects well, and then you have like a parkour performer that loves the Prodigy and
Yeah.
starts listening to the Prodigy music and then starts moving on the set. So then we find that we have music on the set and that starts to inspire
Yeah.
how they move, and then naturally they start to forget about the direction and they just start to move.
Yeah.
So they start to kind of go, okay, I'm dancing.
Well, I've seen that, like, that type of stuff before, as you said, bringing in people in, because I always remember, like, watching a clip of Lord of the Rings, and it was Christopher Lee, and the director was, like, telling him how he wants him to do, I think it was, like, get stabbed from behind, and he was like, oh, do it this way, and Christopher was like, have you ever actually done this? Because I have. And he's like, you don't do it that way, you do it this way. And that's what I like, that, you know, because he finally listened, and it was nice to see that, like, people are getting in, people that know, and letting them do it instead of being like, no, you know.
You have to. It's like direction is about providing parameters, but not telling people what to do. You know, it's giving them direction. The clues in the title, right? It's like you don't dictate.
Yeah.
You direct. So if someone is going to, so the way we would start, we put the music on, and we'd literally sit, and then Holly and I, you can see us in the side of this guy, we're kind of like dancers going, just feel it, and then we go, right, I want to go and capture an idol. They start kind of moving, and then, because the first thing that normally happens when you get someone to do an idol on a motion capture set, especially if it's a sterile set, is they just do this and they go,
Yeah.
and they start over breathing, they start looking left and right, they start adjusting their weight. No one stands like that.
Yeah.
No one does that. So why do it there?
They're not feeling natural.
They're not feeling it. It doesn't feel right. They want to impress you, right? So you remove that.
They're going over the top, and it's
They're
not
just in their
needed.
heads.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they're just
See,
thinking of games as a reference.
So our job is to get them out of their head. That is the first thing. You get them out of their head, get them to trust you.
Yeah.
So you'll find that when I'm on set, I spend a lot of time talking to the actors, going, "What did you do last night? How did this work?" It's like, tell me about your kids.
Make them feel calm.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
relaxed.
Tell me about your kids. It's like, oh, tell me about that story about that time when you jumped out of a plane and da da da. Just do that. Tell me about, get them to talk about themselves and get them to talk about something that they're excited about. And then the next thing you go, right, now run. and then they go, what? Boom, they're gone. And then they run and they're not thinking. And then they go, and then you tell them to turn. And then you don't tell them why. You just tell them to, I need you to run here and stop there. Go.
Yeah.
And then they do it. You see, and then sometimes you get the natural thing perfectly first time. Very rarely, but sometimes you do. And then other times you just go, okay, well now when you turn, put your left foot down and turn over your right shoulder. So they go, okay. So then you go, okay, you've got that. Now do the same, but over your left shoulder. And then straight away you've got two different turns.
Yeah.
Now I want you to stop, but I really want you to stop and go straight into your idol. So then they stop and then they go, whew, and then they start dancing. But then it's this natural kind of flow.
Yeah.
And then straight away, before they realise it, you've just built a character.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it. And you've tricked them into doing what you need. And they're like, oh my god, that was fun. And we're like, yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like you don't overthink it. You don't.
Because then they're just in their own world. Like they know, like because they just feel that natural.
It's a very awkward thing to be stood in Lycra in front of 10 people.
Yeah.
It's just get them out of their head. Get them out of their head. And music gets everyone out of their head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we would go to mocap sets with these three elements, and that is how you build a character to me.
Exactly like how I talked about animators being overwhelmed because you're like, oh my god, there's so many characters. What am I going to do differently? It's exactly the same approach for motion capture actors. Because if you said 16 characters, we want all of them to be different, go. Like, they'd be overwhelmed as well. So it's like those like couple of things that we did in prep for each character, it worked as a grounding for us for each character.
Yeah. We'd ask them
for
what
us
music they
in
like as well.
animation,
Yeah.
and
So-
then for them in mocap.
Yeah.
And it was good because we got to a certain point as well where on mocap or when we were putting animation in, where me and Christian would be like, that's not really that character, that's more that character. So we really solidified like a real nuanced like line that each of the characters were, so we could really differentiate between each one, and that sort of like that's not something they would do, that's more something they would do. And that was like quite cool because you were talking about them like they existed. And that was like a good like space to get to.
They started to make themselves as well, which is really weird because when you get the performers to buy into that vision of what the characters are, then you just go, what would you do if I asked you to do this? You'd be like, oh, I'd do this thing here. And I'd be like, cool, I hadn't thought of that. That's great, let's go get that. You know, we'd ask them to do like emotes and dances, and how would this person tell you to get lost?
Exactly how you would approach the animation.
You know what I mean?
Everything's just exactly the same. It's so
and
like
then they'd
funny.
be like, oh, I'd do this, and I'd be like, rah, whatever, and I'd be like, I love that.
So the actor starts building up an image of the character in there.
Yeah.
And then the actor, so just
Well,
as much
everything's a
as,
collaboration. The same way that we collaborate with the creative department, with our other animators, with designers, with programmers. It's exactly the same with mocap actors. You're collaborating with them. They're just like an extension of the team. And their ideas, like that's what you brought them in for.
you know what the
Like, they're
interesting
experts.
is they feel ownership over that as well.
Yeah.
So we started to find when the game came out, is like we're on social media, and then you had these. There's a couple of people. There was one person that worked on Star Wars. There's another person that's worked on films like Gladiator 2 and everything. There, he was on Ninja Warrior as one of the finalists, and I got invited to go and watch him with my son, which was incredible, by the way. But anyway, when everything went out on social media, they're like, this is my character, I'm really proud of this, and everyone's like, oh my god, that looks so cool. And then they feel ownership, they feel pride, so they've got ownership, the animator's got ownership, I've got ownership, it's like it all comes down to,
you can look at it and feel like you had real impact on it.
Yeah.
And that's like such a cool thing to be like, that's something that I did, and like and we all did, and we all had like a part in, and you can see it. It's like really it's really cool.
Going on about like the way you develop your own ownership of that character, and you start sort of seeing it as your child sort of thing. How do you deal with, say, that you've got a character with a style that you really like, and then someone might tell you, oh no, we need to change that style? How do you deal with like having to change something you really like, but doing it for the benefit of the team or the benefit of the vision? Or has that never really been a problem?
So far, it's
don't
not
think it's really been a problem, no.
because like because
because
Christian's
I'm an awesome leader.
he's the boss, so it's like as long as you get him on side, or you prove him wrong.
I'm very open to
Then
that.
it's
This
really
is this is the thing. It's like I'm very open. It's like prove me wrong. It's like I'll go in there with
Challenge.
a certain challenge me. Me. I don't like someone rolling over and just going yes Christian, no Christian. I don't like that. Challenge me. It's like, especially when it comes to animation. If it's my animation team, it's like the perfect example, as I said, was when Holly went and basically was animating Pink. That was the code name. It was like, I firmly believe that this is how it should look, but I'm not a young teenage girl that's into anime that loves the colour pink. I'm just not. So I'm going to listen to someone that is closer, and you know, this
You
is,
need that other perspective.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm so far removed. I'm 47. You know what I mean? I'm so far removed from what that is.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, and I'm willing to be proved wrong. Prove me wrong.
I think as well, that scenario, or at least the first part of it, if Christian had been like, no, like, you may like disagree or whatever, but we're going to do this because it's safe or whatever, and not sort of harnessing that like, no, you obviously really enjoy this, go and like, it's an example of bad leadership, and you would lose out on real magic that would have been created, because the best space that an animator could be in is within one that they really connect with their character, and you let them connect with it. And there's still obviously the approval processes of like, you know, show animations and like, and there's all that kind of, it's not like complete free reign, but the magic happens when you have a character at the animator that really does resonate with the character, and they do see it as their baby, and they're the kind of like, oh no, that wouldn't really work, like this would work, or you know, this kind of idea I was thinking, and you really, again, it's encouraging that ownership. That would be an example of them not encouraging it, and then that's just like, and that's where you get like animators not caring, and then you'll just get like mundane animations that everyone's seen before.
It's a big part of
and
the process.
It would affect the project in a bad way.
In the games industry, it's a big part of the process. It's like, you know, what you animate here, and then the feedback loop of seeing it in the game, and then other people playing what you've animated is huge.
Yeah.
It's like it's why we do what we do. It's like if you're working on a film, yeah, you get to show it to your peers, you get to maybe have dailies, and then everyone looks at it and goes, oh, that's cool. And then maybe if it's in the cinema and everyone's like, oh my god, there's that shot that you did. Yeah, so I mean, I'm massively kind of making it derivative there, but it's with a game, you can get that feedback of, you can see the look on someone's face when they throw a punch that you animated, when they jump into a vehicle that you animated, you know, when they
because it's so interactive.
It's so interactive, yeah, that you do feel like, it's like we always say, get it in the game, and that's the thing. It's like I remember when during the pandemic, my son, who was 6 at the time, was playing Destruction All Stars. Yeah, it's like crazy. He's playing Destruction All Stars, and he was telling all his friends in school that his dad was working on a PlayStation 5. Right, this was before PlayStation 5 came out, and no one believed him. But then he was going home, and I've got videos of him playing Destruction All Stars. And when you've got a 6-year-old that's enjoying the things that you're doing, and then I would send videos to the team of Cameron playing other characters. There's kind of that feedback loop, and then Colin would be like, oh my god, he did this with Pink, he did that, and then she'd go, I'm going to make this happen, I'm going to do this, and I want to see Cameron play it. You know what I mean? It became this feedback, because that's the closest you can get, you know, to see someone's visceral reaction to what you're doing. And I think that it's so important that you see your work in the game. That's the thing that that gives you that pride and that ownership that makes you want to do more and makes you want to push yourself. Yeah. Otherwise, you're just going, I'll just animate this and go over there, and I don't care. Yeah. We want you to care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we do this because we love what we do.
Yeah.
You know, making games should be fun. It shouldn't just be playing games as fun, right? So that's the way I look at it.
Yeah. And it's worth fighting for.
Yeah.
If other departments maybe don't see the value in it. It's the approach that I've had where Christian obviously hasn't been involved because we've gone external. I show them. I'm like, yeah, but look, because this is really cool. Like, if you just, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see it now. So it's like it's knowing what to fight for.
Yeah.
But there's also there's a balance as well, because you can't always be like, well, I just want to do like cool things and I don't care about any of your decisions and anything, a vision of the game. Yeah. Like, there's a balance and there's a compromise to come to, of course.
It's when you really believe in something. There's we can't talk about what Holly's working on right now, but there's something that Holly and I, at the very beginning of the project she was working on, we were like, this is what this is. If we can get this working, it will look amazing.
Yeah.
It will and then that came to fruition the last couple of weeks. And then the amount of pride that I had seeing that Holly had led that all the way through to where we knew it could be, and then others' reactions to that, that didn't necessarily see the vision that we saw, was insane. You know what I mean? To the point where I was like looking at it going, oh my god, this is so good. It's like, you've got to show everyone. It's really, really good. So when that game does come out, you'll see it and be like, yeah, she did that. It's pretty cool.
I can imagine that compromise happens before you get to that state where it will get told, no, you can't do that. So you talk about it and then you move on to the style where you start delving into
I think that's it is as long as you have good leadership involved in the animation department. Well. I think that kind of thing of throwaway work, we wouldn't get to that stage because we don't believe in that, and we wouldn't let anyone sort of go down the garden path and work really hard on something that
I don't like wasted work. No. It has to be towards something. You have to feel like you've got if the animation team can get something out of it, let's do that. Yeah. And it could be, well, now we know what the system is. It could be, well, there's an animation we could rip apart and maybe use somewhere else. I don't like just animating something and then going, we're never going to see that again.
The only time that would probably happen is at very early stages of maybe it just doesn't work functionally. Yeah. And again, like we said earlier, we encourage that you don't spend a lot of time on that functionality stage. It's if you're not seeing it within a day or two in the game, then you're spending too long on it because it could potentially be thrown away. Mm-hmm. So we have it's the pipeline that we sort of adhere to. It doesn't happen where you really love an animation and then you're like, nah, that doesn't really suit the character. Because we also, as an animation department, which we take into all our projects, is we talk about everything, and we're always oh, look at that. I was thinking about this. We were talking to one of our animators the other day who's working on a project that neither of us are working on, and he was like, I was thinking like, and he was showing us the game, and we were like both sort of like talking about ideas, and he was saying like, I was thinking I could do this, and we were like, oh well, that'd be really cool because this and that, and like we encourage it all the time. Like we're such an open sort of team, and we encourage like rapport, that our team are really like a close unit, and we do really like encourage that, even like when we're on like different projects and things. So nothing would ever go far enough. I think again it would just be bad management to do that.
Well, next question is like carrying on with the pipeline. What type of tools and software most commonly used going through the process?
Lucid as a studio is an Unreal heavy studio, so we mainly work in Unreal, different versions of it depending on which studio we're working with. Internally, we're on the latest version of Unreal, so we get all the latest shiny toys and that sort of stuff to play with, which is good because we're trying to keep up with. We're trying to do things the right way. We're trying to be efficient. So there's no point in reinventing the wheel if someone's already done it for you. Right. So. And
internally as well, we always take initiative to always be updating the engine, whereas other projects we've seen, they'll stick to one version, and then it's like, oh, we can't get those updates because it's it'll take too much time, whereas like our tech team is on it, so we're always on like
checking,
and no one even feels it.
So if you make the small jumps, the big jumps aren't that bad, right? It's like a lot of, I understand why other projects do it. It's like you look at Sea of Thieves, for example. Sea of Thieves is on a really old version of Unreal. Still, and it's like that works for them because they've built so much onto their pipeline.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
But it makes it difficult
because they've probably built blueprints that work with the older version of Unreal, but if it gets updated, them types of blueprints.
The problem you get with if you don't iterate it is like when you do bring in other teams that have a lot of knowledge and can make things more efficiently. Let's look at like animation retargeting as an example. That isn't in Sea of Thieves' version of Unreal. So if you want to put some new animations in a new system, you've got to do the whole thing by scratch. And which is very time consuming, a waste of money, a waste of time.
So it's best just to keep with the
really they should weigh it up. And I think sometimes you can see that people, it's a risk. And it's a risk from someone high up that says, I'll have to, if it's gone so long in that one version, it would maybe take people offline for a couple of days, but you have to have the person that will be like, it's worth it.
And that's why a lot of companies probably make, instead of carrying on playing, making the same game, like constantly updating it, like you said, Sea of Thieves, or when you look at the other games like GTA or Fortnite, whatever.
Well, Fortnite keep up today, I assume.
but more other companies just make a sequel to that game. Instead, so that they can work with the new versions.
I think sometimes, I mean, it's a lot harder to update an engine when a game is live, when it's there. It's just difficult. Then animation tools, we work with Motion Builder, Maya. We did used to work with 3ds Max, but we don't work anymore. One of our, it was me. I was very quick and very good with 3ds Max, so it just made a lot of sense to do that. But we've eradicated that from our pipeline now. It just doesn't fit anymore. But we use a combination of Maya and Motion Builder, depending on which project is, which one is more heavy. The project that I'm on right now is 50-50 split between Motion Builder and Maya, depending on what I need to do at what stage. But
often you'll find codec companies will have one or the other as well. So the previous project I was on was fully Maya, and then the current project is fully Motion Builder. So it's good that internally we make sure all of the animators
we find that if we can use
proficient in both.
Then it kind of makes us. It means we can work on anything at any point.
We had the best pipeline on Destruction All Stars because we utilised both Motion Builder and Maya for what they're best at. So not only does that keep animators up to date with, like, they know Motion Builder, they're confident in it, they know Maya, they're confident in it, but also we had like tools internally where you could switch between them really easily. So you could do your mocap editing in Motion Builder, then throw it into Maya and do all the cleanup, and it was just like the best thing ever. And I haven't been able to work with that pipeline.
It frees up animators just to animate where they feel comfortable. Like one of our tech animators said, it's just keys on bones. He doesn't care. It's like he doesn't care where you animate, and I think the way I've always looked at animation is, as long as you can animate, I'll teach you the tool. I don't care. It's like I remember when I started working at Bizarre Creations, I had only ever animated in 3ds Max, and then Bizarre Creations was entirely Motion Builder. I'd never used Motion Builder before in my life, and they said, we'll give you 3 weeks and all these tutorials to learn it, and then you feel really uncomfortable. It's like, you know, like if you're right-handed and you're only allowed to use your left hand, it feels like that.
Yeah.
And I couldn't work out whether was my animation bad or was it the package that was doing it, because I knew what I wanted to do, it just wasn't allowing me to do it. But you fight through that and you get there.
Okay.
So tools are easy, learning to animate is hard.
Yeah.
Christian taught me Motion Builder by sitting down with me for under an hour, going through something like really quickly, and then said, okay, I'm going to go on a 2-week holiday now. And
Yeah,
but you know,
Sounds,
but there you go. That was like
There was no risk. There was no risk. I don't think at the
But I
time.
didn't need it. I learned it
So,
on that little like blitzed demo, and he never had to show me anything again.
yeah.
But
But there's just something you don't need to know everything.
Yeah.
You just need to know your part.
Yeah.
Like I have shortcut keys that I go across Motion Builder and Maya, so it doesn't matter for me where I am now.
Yeah.
It's like, and in fairness, I didn't really animate with Maya for maybe I want to say the first 20-something years of my career. I just
For the
didn't.
first like
Yeah.
6 years at least. Yeah,
Yeah, first 6 years I didn't use it. I could do everything in Motion Builder
Yeah.
or 3ds Max. I could do it faster and quicker. And then I only learnt Maya when I just effectively got like forced to learn Maya. So, and it's only, I'm good with it. I'm okay with it now.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things. It never worried me because I was like, it's just a tool.
We
So I've just got
generally-
to have the time to do it.
We generally don't ask as well in
we
interviews
don't.
with juniors. It's always them that ask us what software we use, because it's just not like,
Yeah,
it's like as long as you can animate anywhere. Like
Yeah.
it's transferable.
yeah, we'll teach you.
There's nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
It's fine. So don't worry. But if you do, Maya or Motion Builder. That'll
Okay.
just- that'll
Well,
just-
I use Maya, but I've never used Motion Builder, so I'll look into.
And you work in
I'm
mocap?
yeah,
You
I'm
never use Motion
surprised
Builder?
by
No.
Oh man, but you
You're
got to use
missing
that.
out.
There you go. There you go. Motion Builder would make
I'll
your
def-
it
I'll
doesn't crash
definitely-
anywhere near as much.
I'll
It's
definitely
way
look into
better
that then.
for motion capture. It is way better.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
do that.
All right.
So you get the live link set up as well. You can actually see it in Motion Builder
Yeah.
as you're capturing it. It's great.
Okay.
So
Can you tell us about some of the tools and software you use relating to mocap, like directly, or have we kind of just covered that throughout?
kind of. I think that for us, we're more the creative end. We're the direction
Yeah.
side of it. So when it comes to actually setting up the stage, there's other people. Although we do have an XN suit. We have an XN suit now that we all, as a team, know how to use.
Yes.
Whereas a lot of times studios, there's usually one person that knows how to use the XN suit, and then that person is a bottleneck. When we bought the XN suit, we made a point of getting the entire team together, and every one of us either learned the technical side of it or the basic how to get in the suit
Yeah.
and set it up for someone else. So now we can have any combination
Okay.
that can do it. To the point where Holly and I went to a university to give a demonstration, and it was just Holly and I. I got in the suit, Holly and I set it up, and then Holly effectively directed me, which was a really kind of circular mode. It's like,
Yeah.
I've directed lots, I've never been directed. And then
Well,
the fact
it
that
turned
Holly was
into-
directing me.
It turned
So-
into more of a like a circus show, because he was just walking around, and they were all like in like a big sort of semicircle around us, and he was like, "Tell me what you want me to do."
We
We'll
made a
put some
character.
music on
We
and
made
I'll
a
do
ca-
it.
Yeah, we made a character. We basically ran a mocap set.
Yeah.
So we
It was good then.
What was it? We created a dark Batman type character.
It was like improv. It's like, shout out a suggestion, we'll do.
Yeah.
And what do you want him to like?
And we recorded the data.
Okay.
Yeah, and we did that.
It was good.
We did it all live.
Yeah.
And it was like, so we use that a lot now. Holly's used it quite a lot for her project, and then she'll go. I can't say the studio she's gone to, but then she's gone somewhere else to go and record it in a
Yeah.
proper set
Yeah.
and everything there. But we have someone else that pushes the button. We just we will be focused mainly on like just what shots do we need, how we set that shot, how we set that up.
Yeah.
What we need the actors to do, the music that we're going to have on set.
Yeah.
It's like how many things can we get done in a day, and it's the way we work is more people management
And
So-
casting for
and
actors.
casting. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I going to say then? Oh, no, I don't know.
All right, next questions are going to be for some industry advice.
Okay.
So, what do you look for in junior animators and students applying for placements and roles at Lucid Games?
That they have a good soul, good animation ability, and they're professionally, like they have really good soft skills. They're good at listening, they're good at talking. They can easily talk about their work. There's not like some like weird, uncomfortable, is this work yours? Or, you know, is this just a tutorial? As soon as you get someone talking, you'll quickly find like,
tell us about your process.
how
Did that happen?
Plus
and
they
how
can,
familiar they are
plus
with
they
the
can
process.
accept criticism and advice.
That's a big part as well.
Yeah.
We make sure that they can, take feedback.
We've
Sometimes go through their show reel.
Yeah, I've done that. I've purposefully picked out a single piece, and I've given like a critique, criticised it, I've just given it a critique.
Yeah.
And given them feedback.
Yeah.
Like unsolicited, they haven't asked for it. I've just given them feedback because I want to see how they'll respond to that feedback, and that will tell you a lot about that. If they start getting really defensive about all this, then and you know that they're not going to take feedback that well, a lot of people will just be like, oh, that's really useful, okay, and then it ends up becoming a chat.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Well, that's one thing I look into when I'm doing my work. I always say like well, not always of course, but like I'll sometimes say, have you got any advice for me, or you know, what's the best part where I can improve on the most, and what's the best way to do that, stuff like that.
It's really important when skipping to the end of the interview now, but if we say, do you have any questions, have a couple of questions ready, because it's like that's your opportunity to like, even if that interview doesn't like go anywhere, you've got to like potentially well, you know, you've got two people in industry and they know things, and you're trying to start out, like ask them about about like the studio and like the, you know, company benefits and things like that, but also like ask interesting questions. It's like, you know, like anything that you want to know, like, is it going to be really hard for me, like what kind of work would I expect?
Have you got any advice on what I should look into going into your
just
company?
like utilize that you have a moment with like a couple of people in industry, and you can ask them anything. The worst thing is when someone's like, oh, I don't have any.
Because it sounds like, well,
it shows a bit that you don't. It feels, it's not often.
They'll sometimes dress it up as you've answered all my questions. No, we haven't.
It feels like they don't.
There's some questions.
Yeah. There's always going to be a question. And I think that, you know, what we often say, again, it's like there's a lot of similarities into how I think we do things, but again, it's like I was told by a recruiter once that when you interview someone, it's probably going to be one of the worst versions of them, because they will be nervous, they're not going to feel comfortable, so you have to kind of spend maybe the first 5-10 minutes, I don't know, just making them feel comfortable. Just talk to them. Just talk to them. You know, like just let them. Just get them out of their head.
Same thing you do on mocap.
It's exactly the same.
Everything is the same.
It's all the same.
Approaching animation, approaching motion capture set, approaching an interview. Everything is the same. We're in a simulation.
The people that are in the suit, they're there for a reason. Yeah. So we'll say to animators, it's like, okay, you're here for a reason. It's like, we already think you're good enough. Yeah. This interview, we don't necessarily say this bit, but the interview is to see what their soft skills are like. It's to see whether they fit with the team. It's to see whether they would, you know, cause any problems. It's like, and again, it's like we're quite extensive with how we interview. We don't just interview for like 20 minutes and then go, see you, bye. It's like all our interviews are like 40 minutes, 40 minutes to an hour. Often go over.
To get to know them fully and
if we're going to be investing in this person, we're going, and we'll do that from juniors all the way up to leads. Yeah. And we have, like, Holly and I are in most of the interviews, I think, if we do it now, aren't we? There's
everyone on the team.
Anyone on the animation team, no matter what team they're on, will have to go through Holly and myself, and usually one extra. Yeah. So, and that person will usually be from a more technical background. Okay. So then you've got me with years of experience on one end, you've got Holly in the middle, and then you'll have like a technical side as well. Yeah. And then those three people, if you can get those three people to come to a consensus, that will give you your answer. So we'll make sure that people they fit on the team, and that can be, it's just I don't know, just making sure they're not being offensive to people, they're not being disrespectful, and it's very hard if you're talking to someone for an hour to hide who you really are.
Yeah.
So it's like eventually it'll come out.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
so that's the advice we give at least. Anyway.
Yeah.
In the same sort of field, is that how important a demo reel for a
Demo reel's the first thing that we'll look at. If your
Yeah.
demo reel's
Gets you in
like,
the door.
it is the foot that will get, it's the thing that will get you in the door. It's like, we haven't heard a word you've said. We don't know who you are. You know, it's like we'll look at your CV, sure, but
Yeah.
the demo reel, if your animation is good, that'll be the thing that will go. Oh, then we'll look at the CV. Then
Yeah.
we'll start to dive a little bit more in depth into it.
Okay.
If the demo reel isn't something that's going to catch our attention, we'll probably still look at the CV, but it's unlikely you're gonna.
Yeah.
yeah?
It's the most important
It's the
thing.
most
Even
important.
if you didn't have a cover letter, you didn't have a CV, for whatever reason, or you had like a couple of lines on your CV, and it was very like, because it's like, what are you gonna have? Someone coming out of uni again, you probably don't have work experience.
Yep.
You might have like a couple of, you know, you worked in Tesco or whatever, and it's like, and it's kind of nice to see, but not like, honestly, CV is kind of irrelevant. It is just a show reel. So it's like, use that opportunity, those like that minute or two, and
Okay.
really like do as much as you can, because that's what we look at.
Yeah.
Even before like anything, and then
We have a thing at work, and then it's the show reel, the name, and the CV, and you can see like, and we all put like a comment in of who should we go to an interview? Do we want more information? Like what sort of questions? And then sometimes you'll see in the demo reel there might be a piece of work. You're like, I'm not sure if that person did that piece of work.
Yeah.
I've seen a show reel of someone plagiarising someone that was on my team. Yeah, and they tried to pass it off as theirs. So we interviewed them. That was hilarious. That was hilarious.
What even the thing what gets me though is why? What's the point? Because if you get in there anyway, if you plagiarise someone else's work and then you get the job because they haven't realised, and then they see your quality of work, they'll go, hold on, well, your quality's not as good.
Doesn't it sound familiar to you? Know, you've got AI and everything now.
Yeah.
Like if someone's using AI to create their final year essay or
Yeah.
helping them become a doctor, like what's going to happen when they actually get to?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So it's pointless. It's pointless because you will get found out.
Yeah.
But this is why we have the interview.
Yeah.
As Holly said,
You can
it's like
quickly
you
find
can
out.
if there's a piece of work that you're not sure about, you ask them.
Yeah.
You ask them about it. If there's a piece of work that you think is great, still ask them about it because
Yeah.
you want to know about how they did it.
Yeah.
You want to know their process, and it's not necessarily about which buttons they clicked and everything. But if you speak to someone about what they do, you will get a good sense of
How they
Yeah.
them understand
Yeah.
that.
and whether they can we've interviewed people that have been like, oh, that's really cool. You could teach that to some of our team.
Yeah.
We've had that as well, you know. So we look for. It's like when I say fit, it's just like we kind of look for what holes, what gaps do we have in
what
the
they can
team.
bring
Yeah.
to the team.
You know what I mean? As in, what they're going to bring
So
to
it's
the
like
team that we don't know.
building a jigsaw puzzle together.
Yeah, I always likened it to building a football team.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's no point in getting a bunch of Mo Salahs. I mean, you need a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You need
Defenders,
You need
you
defenders.
need
You need someone in every position,
Yeah.
and you need a manager, and you need someone that can bring all those together.
Yeah.
So you know, it's like, I feel like that is the best way to build a team.
Yeah.
It kind of gets harder when your team gets bigger, as well, because you go, okay, we're covering loads of these things.
Yeah.
So what do we not have, and how do we fit this person in there?
I get it. Yeah.
We've
So-
always tried to sort of keep a certain quality level as well.
Yeah.
Because as I said previously, like we are really like close knit department, and we never ever, even though we are like growing, we still haven't lost that because of like us putting a real emphasis on that. And every single person we've hired has been someone that would fit and make that more of a close knit. Like, you know, that they would only add to it,
Yeah.
not be someone that wouldn't participate, sort of thing. So
They'd
even
nicely
that
slot
level,
into
yeah,
the-
yeah. Like they'd be up for doing mocap with us, to go to like, you know, team like rock climbing or whatever. Like, you know, so that's a little like small part of a personality that you can gauge, and that's important for us as a team.
Yeah.
So it's like having like values that we want to.
Looking at not only having chemistry inside the company, but also outside the
Yeah,
company.
yeah, they're just going to be like a
And
good.
it's again, it's also different. As I've said before, I'm 47. I'm not going to be hanging out with a bunch of 20-year-olds. It's just not going to happen. It's just, it's like, but that's fine, because I have people on my team that will do that.
Yeah.
That don't have the same responsibilities as me. You're building a team of people that can work well together and respect each other.
Especially because you're getting new people coming in constantly into the industry, aren't you?
Yeah.
From a young age.
Yeah.
So that young age will then carry on with, who you've already got.
Yeah. It's like I always have wanted to leave the industry in a better state than when I entered it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd like to think that I'm doing that.
Yeah.
But again, I'm only ever going to know until I leave. Like I'm working with someone like Holly, and then I see how Holly interviews and how Holly's speaking to people, and then again, it's like that fills me with a lot of pride, just because you can kind of see it being passed over, and Holly's passing that over to her team as well.
It's also like you passing down the torch.
Yeah, 100%. 100% is that.
And
So,
I've never had a formal interview, the other side of it.
you hadn't even formally passed your probation, have you?
No, I did that time.
We all agreed as a team.
Yeah.
Holly has passed the probation. We all said congratulations.
There wasn't like much of a framework when we first
No,
started.
we added that framework in.
But yes.
Okay.
Oh, a caveat as well. While showreels are most important for juniors, particularly, well, for every animator, showreels definitely the most important. CVs, I could take them or leave them. Cover letters, I think that is just like, it's something that like, because we've had some really sweet cover letters of like talking about like, it's not, you can tell when someone's just copied and pasted it for every company, and I get it, like you're applying for a load of jobs, so you can only ask for whatever, but if you just add a little bit of like, oh, I really love Destruction All Stars, like animation, or mention like a character, or mention just something Lucid's done.
Or I saw a video about something you did. It kind of shows that.
It's just that little bit of effort.
Like what I was talking about
The little
before
bit of
when
effort.
I said about like the games that I've seen your company's
Yeah.
done.
It's like it's not just like some, because we've had people show up for interview and they're like, oh, I don't know what Lucid's worked on.
Yeah.
I don't know who you two are. I don't know, like, and they could take it or
It puts
leave
you on the
it.
back foot straight away.
Yeah.
It's
like,
very difficult.
And they generally keep that up through the whole thing.
Because you want to see someone who's applying for a job at your company have a passion for that company.
Well, just so they want the job, not just that like.
They don't
that
have to be. They don't have to like be in love with the company and everything.
Yeah.
I think just having an
little
awareness
bit
of
of
what you
effort.
do.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of effort, and it's like.
Yeah,
And,
or just an excitement for animation even. It doesn't even have to be Lucid or us. Like in a cover letter, just to see any kind of personality come through and be like, oh my god, I'm really excited to do this or that. Obviously, well, you could word it like that. I'd appreciate it.
Well, it comes down to it's like you said as well. It's like often our recruiter will tell the interviewee, who is going to be interviewing, so they'll know that it'll be Holly and myself.
Yeah.
If you do a little bit of research on who you're speaking to, and with Holly, like it's very easy to do that.
Yeah.
It's like then that shows a little bit of extra bit of
Initiative.
interest.
Just
But then when you
anything.
do speak to those people, is show respect to both of those people.
Yeah.
It's not just one or the other. you're being interviewed by two people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but no, use every single opportunity you have to impress to your something. I don't know. It's
What you mean?
just impress them
Yeah.
with everything you give them.
To your interrogators.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you just answered the other question we were going to ask. So for the last question, Holly's one's directed at you. How have you found it coming into the games design industry, which has historically been a very male-dominated field? And what advice would you have for girls who might see you as a role model for being in the industry?
I've had it quite nice because like I've worked at one company for the last 8.5 years, and everyone at that company has always treated me with respect as an equal, as a for the job that I do, and they don't talk about like me being a girl or whatever, and
They just see you as one of them.
yeah, and that's all that you can, and that I think is the bare minimum you should expect.
Yeah.
And if you go into a company and you're not treated just purely on the work that you're producing and what you're bringing to the team, then don't work there, because that's not like, or obviously you can, if there's usually as far as like I've known it, it'll be one or two people, so of course you could like formally complain and things like that. But no, I think you need to respect for yourself and just expect a bare minimum to be given to you. but I've generally had a really good time with it. There's like things, the problems that I've had have been more in conferences and things like that,
Right, yeah.
and events where it's just like a whole bunch of people, and people will see me, they'll see I'm young, they'll assume that I don't know anything, and that I'm very new to the industry, and I'm not worth talking to. And I've had that, like, even when I've been speaking at events, I've still had that kind of like that way of people seeing me, and it's just been something that like you can't really, you can't get away from it as well. Like, it's just like you can't control what people are like. The only thing you can do is just keep smashing your job and do the best you can, and just let that sing for itself, sort of thing. And just, you know, and just speak up and speak loudly if anything is wrong, because you should have people that will take that seriously, because you should be respected at a bare minimum, and that's like what everybody should have. But yeah, I don't.
And I think that also interlinks, especially for like not only for women in the industry, but even for people with disabilities coming into the industry as well. It's just having respect for everyone.
Yeah, exactly, and it is. It's important, and it's been cool, because like when I first started at Lucid, I was like one of, I think, 2 game developers that were women. The others were like HR and finance at that time, and then now, 8.5 years on, I think it's like 22% are women now in Lucid. So I see that as like a great thing. It's really nice to see, and there's just like, and you know, the emphasis at Lucid is just like we hire like good people, man or woman or like, you know, whatever, like, and diversity and everything. It's like we encourage just everybody, just really good people, and it's like it doesn't matter where you've come from or who you are. It's like you're talented at your job, that's good, and like let's just work on cool games together, and that's what it should be about. It's ridiculous that like things even have to get like
this,
get involved.
Stage,
It's like why is me being a woman even like anything? Like, why does that have any relevance to anything?
As long as you're good at what you do, that should be what matters.
And it's nice because like now I'm a lead, so that like you get that sort of authority, and I've been very lucky. Even like the external teams that I've worked with have treated me very similar to like how Lucid are. So they are very like, I think it's very, because I'll look at like the Zoom meetings I'm in, and it is very much like men and then me, and I just always sort of, I'm always the same in any sort of scenario. I always talk the same. I always am like myself, but I'll sort of fight for what I believe in and things like that. So I think even everyone's kind of received it very well so far. So I don't know whether it's just luck, but it's like, again, you go in and you're good at your stuff. It quickly becomes something that no one really like. It's like, oh, okay, like, well, she's doing it well, so it's fine, sort of thing. So I would say as well to stay true to that, because I think I've had a lot of girls talk to me about you being like girly or like speaking, because I don't speak particularly formally, and women will often find that that's unprofessional, that comes across unprofessional because you're coming across like a girl, and it's like, that's not unprofessional, you're just being yourself. And I was very like nervous about that at the beginning, because in my first like year or two, I thought people aren't going to respect me because I come across like this young girl, and I like pink very openly and glitter and, you know, all these things and unicorns. And I was like, people like, is that at a detriment to my career? Should I like not bring that to work? Should I like be like should I put some sort of persona on to be at work?
That'd be really weird.
And then I was like,
if I was said, it's like, can you come?
Well, that was like before. That was like when you first started. So no one knew me. So I was like, maybe like this is gonna sort of undercut me, sort of thing. Like maybe this isn't coming across well. But after like sort of like thinking about it for a while, I was just like, that would be a lot of effort for me to turn off everything about myself, just to be at the job when I'm going to be there for most of my like sort of time every week as well. So I was like, no, I'll just own it, and
Stay
that's
true
kind
to
of
yourself.
like, yeah, exactly. And I do now put real emphasis on that, and I make sure that I say that at everywhere that I talk, because it gives you that edge in your role that you bring your personality to, and every single person in every sort of way, they can bring their own personality into it, and that's good. That makes like, because making games are not in like corporate law. It's worked for me, and it works it's my like style that I've developed now as a lead in leadership, because that's the style that I bring to it. I'm very open and honest, and I talk about my life all the time, and I talk about like my pets, and it's nice because instantly, if anyone's in a meeting with me, I put them at ease, and it works in my favour, and I'm glad that I retained that, and it hasn't held me back. And it isn't unprofessional. Like you are just a girl, like not just a girl, but it's like you're a girl, and you're just going to talk however Christian talks the way he talks. I talk the way I talk. Yeah. And that's just it. As long as we're all doing like a really good job, then that's
that was
all
like
you need to do.
That was like the thing for me, because like I've got autism, so one thing my mum always says to me is like when she's speaking to someone and like they're talking to her and she says, "Oh, my son's got autism," she goes, they go, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that," and she's like, "No, he's in university, he's about to graduate, he's going to go into games design, there's nothing to be sorry for. He's using that to it's not a setback." It's like an advantage for
it. Just shouldn't even because it doesn't even need to be part of it, does it? It's like you are yourself.
Yeah. It's
not
just
like,
my personality.
It's not, but it's not like your main characteristic. You know what I mean? Because that's like often when it becomes women in games, and it's like I don't really like putting emphasis on it, because it's like, no, we're just people in games.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing, and that should be it. It's like I don't need to talk
about anything else. It should be like
else.
that for every
job.
Yeah,
and that should it should just be the world that it is. We shouldn't even, because the more you talk about it, the more it does just like it sets people apart, and then people don't know what to say and things like that, and it's like it's not relevant. Like, let's just do our job. And not be like horrible to each other, because I've had like a couple of, and we've had it in interviews where people have been you can quickly see people that are like sexist with or without knowing, and not respecting me, and all of their like sort of questions going to Christian and things like that, but it's been good really, because we're like two sides of a coin, so it's a very good like gauge that we can very quickly get from people. It's like if they don't respect me from like the beginning, then it's like, well, you're obviously like you're just not a good fit for the team.
You don't get. I think a lot of people don't understand how hard Holly has worked to get to where she is, and then I think there was one person we interviewed once that thought, well, Holly's done it in this time, I'll do it in half the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where do you get that from?
Yeah.
That's all. It's like
it's just disrespectful.
It is.
Yeah.
They just think anything I do, I think people are very, and whether it's conscious or subconscious, I don't know, but people will very easily belittle it and just think, well, I could have done that if I was given that opportunity.
I could do better than that.
Yeah. So it's just, you gotta let it wash over you and not work with them. But
shake it off as Taylor Swift.
Yeah, shake it off.
This guy?
Hey, I just know you're a Taylor Swift fan, that's it.
Yeah.
Right, this question's about the future of game animation. How do you see animation in games evolving over the next 5 to 10 years, especially with the rise of AI and procedural tools?
That is a big question.
If you want to keep it short,
I'll try and keep it short. I will keep it short. It's like, I think the industry, again, I feel like this is an inflection point, right? There was an inflection point when mocap became a thing.
Yep.
Everyone thought that was going to take over animators' jobs. It doesn't. It just changes how animators work.
Yeah.
It's another tool in your box, right? It's how you're going to use it. Same sort of thing as an animation technology I worked on, motion matching. Everyone thought that was going to take away animators' jobs. It's not. Again, it changes.
It's just another tool.
It's another tool. You've got to use it. It doesn't work for some things. Like it works really, really well for realistic animation. Same with mocap, works really, really well for us. But then there becomes like, if you want to have really stylized, really creative kind of animation that just wouldn't be from anywhere else, you got to go and keyframe it. So the way I look at AI, I think that there's going to be, like, I could envision a world where you could type something in and say, give me a walk cycle, and it would give you a walk cycle, right? That you could say, give me a walk cycle that walks like a cowboy or whatever, right? And it could give you the base of that. but it's going to be its interpretation of what
Yeah.
that is. It still is going to take, and it might give you like, it might get you like 70-80% of the way there, like mocap would, right? So, but then you've still got to go in and add something to it. You've got to add that style to really make it pop. Otherwise, it just becomes a very kind of derivative version of what everyone else is doing. It's democratizing things, right? And if everyone has access to it, everyone's going to end up doing the same thing. So you've still got to find a way that makes it unique, that pushes it over the edge. Otherwise, you're just going to have
It's just the same game. Just
everyone's
make the same.
games are
Yeah.
going to look
Yeah.
the same. Everyone's art's going to look the same. Everyone's
Yeah.
documents are going to look the same, right? You have to find ways to use it as a tool.
Yeah.
It's there to help you complete your job, to complete what you're going to do. It will hopefully mean that you won't necessarily need teams of 300-400 people and put those companies at risk to do things. It might mean that you can have like less people to work on more things, you know. So it might mean you can have more creative things, and it might mean instead of having, as I said, having like 200 people working on one game, maybe you can get those 200 people working on 10 games
Yeah.
instead, which is going to create more variety, more interest,
Yeah.
and then the cream will rise to the top. You'll find that, to me, that with when the advent of these tools is, the originality still has to be there. It will still find a way to
Yeah.
rise. You know, it's like the future of games animation. I even did a talk about it at GDC. I called it the future of games animation today, and it was about creating a system that was going to take away all the tedious parts of building a locomotion system, right? And it was the fact that you could just go to mocap, go and do 10 minutes worth of motion capture and put it into an engine and it would work. Sure, it would technically work, but it became really, really difficult to work with, and has taken another 10 years of development from other teams at like Epic and Naughty Dog and wherever to really work out how do you wrangle this into something that is a useful tool.
Yeah.
You know, so there's always going to be some form of evolution, like, or revolution into how animation is working and where it's going to go.
Yeah.
You have to embrace it.
It's always a new thing coming out, and
There's
you've
always
just
going to
gotta
be a new
work
thing.
with that.
You have to embrace it.
Yeah.
Now, if you just go, do this thing for me, like I've had creative directors go, oh, we can just mocap that and put it in the game. I'm like, okay, fine. You don't understand what that process is. It's not just go and mocap it, put it in the game.
There's a whole
Extra thing of how does that get there for a start. You've got to direct it. You've still got to put it. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's going to be ways, and as I said, it's like I could very easily envision a world where you could just type in what do you want, and then it creates an asset for you that can go into a game. Sure.
We're
I
seeing
can see
more
that.
and more where you don't need the stage as well, and you can like record things on your phone
Yeah.
and then turn that into mocap and stuff like that. So I see a lot more of that happening.
Yeah.
I would like to just see more, because we've seen AI in like Photoshop gets rid of a load of the tedious, like, you know, like cutting around like things.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of that in animation process,
Yeah.
not replacing anybody, but more
just
like
helping cut down the time.
Yeah.
Getting rid
help
of,
us
like-
create
Help with
some
the
loops.
efficiency.
Help us do this. Help us do that.
Yeah.
You know.
well, and like mocap cleanup, because like that is a very tedious task that no one really enjoys when it comes straight out like raw to like giving it to animators.
Yeah.
That task could very easily become an AI thing, which would be, it would just help a lot of people out where like technicians could focus on like the cool bit of like being on set and like making sure everything's cool. And like the animators aren't held up by how like the process of it being cleaned up and like, oh well, because it's manpower, it's like replacing stuff like that isn't really creation. It's just like
Allowing the animators
just, like,
to do the stuff that
tedious
they really
things.
want to do.
streamlining the process, stuff like that. I'd like to see more of. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
And then and then well, games as a whole, I would like to see, because I feel like it's getting more and more bloated. Of like everybody wants to be the next Fortnite or the next GTA, and everything's online and
Oh,
live.
Yeah.
And
Live games can die.
what I'd like to see is like and I think we're gonna near it where it collapses, because if you say to anybody, do you want to play this like really cool like action co-op game, and it's like a really cute setting and it's like an 8-hour narrative, nobody says no to that. It's like we just need more games made where like it's just about passion. It's about like something cute, something fun, and it's like go back to like games like just being like a fun thing to play that doesn't take up your whole life. Because
the game industry went into a whole thing.
These massive open worlds, it's like they're like hours and hours of things that nobody has time to do.
Yeah.
Not only if you're like married, but also like just any person. Like nobody wants to spend like most people don't want to spend 80 hours like playing a game.
Even remakes getting made of like old games, just
Yeah,
getting the
it's like
graphics
create
updated.
original things, please.
There's definitely a bloat there, and I think there's a lot of risk with studios, which is why you're seeing co-devs a lot now. You're seeing it's like to try and mitigate that risk, but there's definitely a lot of bloat with how games are getting made, and
I'd like to just see live service.
Yeah.
Just let's take a turn from there.
Yeah. Well, I think like
Simpsons
the people
Hit and
have
Run.
spoken.
That was the best game ever.
Well, I think also if you look at like remaking games, you're appealing to both generations of the older generation because that's the games that they grew up with, but then you're appealing to the younger generation because it's new games for them to them with the same graphics.
I think there's a whole
both
area of your industry. It's like it's smaller games
and stylized, not realism. Everything's realistic.
And it's not necessarily saying indie games. I'm saying smaller. We call them AA. Right? Yeah. So smaller, high quality games. So those teams that would be working in AAA or whatever, it's like instead of just going let's have a 200, 300 person team, it's like let's have like 20, 30 people, maybe even less than that, really focusing on this incredible experience.
Yeah.
And because it's only 20, 30 people, there isn't a huge amount of risk to it. So you can be a little bit more creative, you can be a little bit more innovative. The game also does not need to be endless. Like, I like a game with an end. The thing I love about Nintendo games is you get the little cartridge, and you know whatever's on that cartridge is the game.
Yeah.
I can go on a plane, I can play it, I don't need an internet connection, I don't need anything else. And I love that. This is why, to me, Nintendo has got it right.
Yeah.
It's like, and, okay, I'll put Astrobot in there as well.
Because the developer cycle of like live service is like because you spend like 3-4 years making a game, and usually back in the day, you'd ship it and then you go.
You'd
to
have a
the
little
next
party.
thing. Yeah, I've never had a launch party, so I wouldn't know what that is like. But and then you'd go but now in live service, you can stay on that project indefinitely, forever.
Yeah.
And it's like, who wants to do that?
That's like its own new hell. Like, it's like it's.
We need to remember why any of us enter the games industry.
Yeah.
To make fun games.
And weirdly, so I kind of see the future is a little bit like that. It's like yes, the future has it, but I think that there is going to be like everything's like fashion is cyclic, right? It kind of comes around. I feel like games are returning a little bit back to let's have these smaller single player experiences.
That's what I'd like to see. Anyway.
Or let's have these. You can have co-op experiences as well, but it's like I love games where I can pick it up and put it down. Like I'll play FIFA because I can pick it up and put it down. Sure, there's progression, there's skill. It's like, but that's going to be from you playing. Yeah. It's not necessarily. It's like, I have to grind forever. My son plays a ton of Roblox. I don't get it.
I don't know what the game is.
But the thing is the game can be anything. That's the thing.
They just get online and then carry each other, and that's what I see.
Going on from like what you've just been talking about then about playing FIFA, what would you say is your favourite games to play outside of work?
Favourite games playing now, or like favourite games of all time?
Both. Yeah.
Favourite game of all time, Simpsons Hit and Run, 100%. Best game ever made. No one can argue with me. And I do like Sims. Game I'm playing now, nothing. I'm planning a wedding.
I've got time. So for me, so I've said this a few times, but it's I make games for a living. So kind of one of the last things I want to do outside of that is play more games. Yeah. I play games in work. Yeah. For work, for research purposes, and yes, I do play them to enjoy them. But they're few and far between now, and the games I do play, I play with my son.
Well, what would you say was your favourite game when you were younger?
When I was younger, I had a Spectrum when I was like, so I used to love it. So games were really short. I remember playing, one of my favourite games was, I love the original Prince of Persia. The original Prince of Persia on the Amiga, I loved that game. It was a really short game. Like looking back, it's a really short game. It's probably like, at the time it felt like it went on forever. but it was probably, if you played from start to finish, you could finish the whole game in like 3 hours, if you knew what you were doing. Like a more modern game, trying to think now. I love Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, I played that with my son as if it was a co-op game.
Yeah.
Like, so I would go and explore, and he would go and do all the combat, and we would tag team. So I'd give him a little debrief in the morning. Go, right, okay, I've opened up this. I've got you these credits. This happens here. Go. And he was like, okay. And then he'd go and kill all the Lionels and fight all the whatever. And then he found a glitch where he could drop things and just recreate stuff. And I was like, that's incredible how you've done that. He's learning through YouTube. So he watches YouTube, like how I used to read magazines for cheat codes.
Oh.
But he watches YouTube. Yeah, cheat codes don't happen anymore. There's glitches.
Yeah.
There's glitches. But
It's online, isn't it?
but I love that. But right now, I'm playing Split Fiction.
Okay.
When I get a chance.
Yeah, because I
Split Fiction is really fun. I love co-op games. I love split screen co-op games. I like being in a room with someone and then go, I'll do this, you go there. Okay, let's go.
Couch co-op games.
Couch co-op.
Yeah.
That's the future. To me,
What
that's
would
the
you
future.
say is yours?
My favourite game.
Yeah.
I'm really into Souls likes.
Okay.
I'd say Dark Souls 1's probably like my favourite game.
Okay.
And then what have I been playing recently? Been in The Witcher, played through all the Witcher games.
Yeah.
I'm on to the third one now,
Okay.
the first and second. Really fun games. Graphics don't really bother me too much.
Yeah.
So it was interesting going back and seeing all like, because the evolution of RPGs, you can see it through Witcher 1, 2 and 3,
Yeah.
where it's very obviously D&D inspired, and even in the little corner you have it like, it'll say like, oh, dice roll, you've done this much damage when you attack, to then The Witcher 3, which is a lot more accessible and modernised.
Yeah.
Got rid of some of them features that I reckon worked a lot better in the older games.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing my way in.
In time for the new one.
Time for the new one.
For me, I'm split between two. My top number one has always got to be Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
It was the game I grew up with playing.
Not Black Ops.
No, I was a Modern Warfare 2 kid.
I played that
Black Ops
at. I played the first one at a convention before anyone had seen it.
Wow.
I remember that. So yeah.
But my other one,
That makes me really old.
which you might like, is Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Oh, interesting.
See,
you went for one of the newer ones.
I enjoyed more of the RPG style
Right.
of the Assassin's.
Oh, you're one of those fans.
Yes.
Wow,
Well, I like
interesting.
the entire series.
Yeah.
What I always say to like any of my friends, because when they say, "Oh, so which one's your favourite?" and I go Odyssey, and they go, "Don't want to talk to you." I say, and what I say to people, I say, right, if you look at any game series that's gone on for ages, I said, most of them games now are hated because it's the same repeat.
Yeah.
Repeat.
Yeah.
It's just like the map's changed. I said Call of Duty, FIFA, you can go on. Assassin's Creed, I said, the way I think Ubisoft looked at it was, they went and looked at the other games and went, hold on, there's a hate going on for the repeat. Let's change that when they got to Origins. And so it's still Assassins, but there's an RPG aspect to it to change it. And I think that was something that I actually enjoyed because it was something different.
Yeah.
It's still got the Assassin's Creed aspect to it, but it's got its own little spin and twist to it, and just how the map looked and it was designed and how open it was. It was just everything that I loved in a game to play. That was just one of my go-tos.
That's cool. Yeah.
So yeah, that was
My favourite of the series was either Black Flag or Assassin's Creed 2.
yeah.
Assassin's Creed 2, some of my animation was still in it. By the time I came to Black Flag, there was a little bit of animation still in it.
You were still the dying guy, weren't you?
I was still the dying guy, yeah. Every time you killed someone in the first 2 Assassin's Creed, it was me. Yeah, I'm not even joking. It was like I was in a mocap suit. It was like, so Ubisoft built a mocap stage. They built a mocap stage when, round about the time I joined, so that was like 2004, 2005. And Assassin's Creed was the first real project to use motion capture.
Yeah.
didn't know how to direct it, didn't know how to perform it, didn't know what to do. So it was myself and the animation director did all of the mocap for Assassin's Creed 1. And so anytime anytime anyone dies in the first 2 Assassin's Creed, it's me.
It's funny that because that actually interlinks with the next question, which is what's one animation sequence you've worked on that you're as proud of?
Would you say you're proud of the dying animations in the first two?
It's a different kind of proud.
It's a different kind of proud, yeah.
Did you like clean them up and implement them?
I did.
No, that's cool.
Yeah. It was weird. It was like I had this thing about my knee being snapped. I had like a phobia of like that's my absolute worst fear. And there's one animation where you snap someone's knee, so we had to work out how to record that. So the way we recorded it is we kind of had our legs apart, and then I had to trust my animation director to kick between my legs,
oh my God.
and make it look, and then I had to pretend. We worked out that probably wasn't the best way to do it, and then on Assassin's Creed 2 we moved that person to the side, completely out of the way, and then they could see on the monitor in front of what was happening, so then they knew how to react. And then we found better ways of doing it, but it was just kind of an easy.
That's how they do a lot of combat, isn't it? Or like
it is now. It is now. You have someone on the side reacting.
Yeah.
So if you're going to hit someone in the stomach with a club or something like that, they hold like a pad on them, and then they'll react to it like that. But that's not my favourite thing. My favourite thing that I've animated. Oh my god! I animated some dogs for Watch Dogs 2, doing various different things. Which I can't talk about here, but that was fun. There's a video that went around internally that talked about it. That was kind of cool. I think there's some stuff on Splinter Cell I really enjoyed. Some of the cover takedowns. I worked with some crazy people there. I worked with James Bond's stunt double on Bloodstone. That was really fun. That was Daniel Craig's stunt double, who looked like Daniel Craig. And then I think my favourite game mocap-wise to work on though has genuinely been, and I'm not just saying this because she said, it's Destruction All Stars. The variety and everything that we had in that. It's really hard to pick out one animation that I love because
there's so many.
Yeah, there is, and it's very difficult when you're making gameplay. It's like I love the sequence is always different, so it could be you start the game, you jump off the thing, you land on the floor, you have a really nice landing animation, then you jump in the air onto a wall, and then you jump off the wall into a vehicle, and all of those will be my animations. But they can be put together in any different thing. So I love, there's a signature through any game I've worked on, and it's a flow and momentum. I can love everything to lead on to the next thing. I've always said it's not about the animation you're working on, it's about the animation before and the animation after.
Yeah.
So it's how it connects.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a very kind of I'm skipping the answer, but
no,
my answer is there is no one.
Yeah.
It's.
Have you not animated anything?
No, I haven't animated anything. For 25 years, I've just taught my way through the entire industry. That's it. I've never animated anything.
What about you?
I would probably.
It's got to be pink related.
I was going to say
the whole of Twinkle Riot's every animation that she does, because I did a load of emotes and the character select as well.
You did a really nice emote.
There
was one emote.
There was a couple of emotes that I made because I did some for Hannah and for.
There's a little spinny one which goes like that as well, which I thought was quite nice.
Yeah, there's just loads. Yeah, I'd say Twinkle Riot as a whole, her whole character. I look at it and I think I can't believe that that she was mostly barring a couple of emotes. Completely my animated character.
It's hard to separate an individual animation out from that though, isn't it?
Yeah. Her run was great, but that was the motion capture sang for itself really for that one. So keyframe, it would probably be something on her character. Well, no, it was one of the emotes probably, yeah. But no, the whole thing. What I really loved was her transitions, her locomotion transitions were really because you look at it, they didn't really. It was really cool to see something like that work because I've not seen usually the transitions of a 90 start 180 plant turns, they're usually very sort of functional, quick, whereas I was able
transitions
to,
where you had the magic, isn't it?
Yeah, I was able to and all of our characters did really unique turns, and plant turns particularly became really nice, where she did a little and then like went the other way, or she did like a little pirouette, like 180, and they turned out really, and they made it into the trailer and everything. So they turned out really nice. I'm really proud of those.
Everything then. So, where can listeners see your work or connect with you online? Any shout outs for any upcoming Lucid projects or initiatives?
I have a completely, what can I look at? A completely
Look at all three, really.
like selfish, not selfish at all. I wrote a book. I wrote a book and it was
That's not
published.
selfish, that's incredible.
A plug, that was what
You wrote a book. You wrote a book. I've not written
I'm
a book.
trying to selfishly do a plug, self-promotion. I wrote a book over the last couple of years. It was published last July. It is actually in the Liverpool Waterstones physically, which was a very
You have
cool
a copy
moment.
of it here, don't you?
I have a copy here, so we can like look at it later. But it's available at all sort of like online, like Amazon, anywhere you could buy a book. And it is called The Pocket Mentor for Animators. And this is the book. This is my dog on the front cover. Yeah, and it's part of a series. There's if people aren't specifically on about animation, there's a whole series of like, and it's all about getting into the games industry in different departments. So I did the animation one, and this is everything from high school, sort of picking GCSEs and stuff, through to like your first couple of years in the industry, and it's just like advice for interviews, for your application, like your show reels and everything, and then sort of insight to when you first, like your first day, because that can be quite overwhelming, your first month, and like, you know, trying to like figure out how to fit in and find your friends and things like that, and like imposter syndrome, because that is very, very, you know, you just like, why am I, I honestly thought I was gonna get fired like every day of like the first like sort of year of my career. And yeah, and stuff like that. And then like, you know, becoming, it sort of goes a little bit to becoming senior, working in co-development. Just basically all of my first sort of like 7 years are in, like everything that I've learned and advice is in this book. So if anybody's looking to go into animation, then definitely buy it.
All good bookstores.
Yeah, from literally anywhere. The Pocket Mentor for Animators is what it's called.
We'll put a link in the
I know.
description
Yeah,
for the Amazon link or something.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really proud of that. And yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. Holly Newsham.
Yeah, same with me. I'm like, I have a YouTube channel that I haven't updated for a long time. If you just type in my name in YouTube, it will come up. Okay. So, and find me on LinkedIn. It's like, I'm more than happy if people ask me questions. Or I used to be on Twitter a lot. I'm not anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's toxic and it's horrible. So I don't go on there
Just
at all.
ads now.
Yeah, it is. It's like I used to. That's a real shame. I used to use that as purely work.
Game dev.
Yeah, like it was game dev. All the people that I followed or had, I didn't connect to any political thing. I didn't connect. It was just work, just game dev. And I don't know how it's happened. Well, I do know how it's happened, but now it's all sorts of weird stuff on there, and I haven't touched it.
I don't go on it at all.
So
no.
no,
It is a shame because that used to be like the.
It was the thing we
LinkedIn's
always
quite
used to say.
professional.
It used to be the best way to get hold of us.
It's more the casual
Yeah.
game dev. Yeah.
But now
So-
it's a horrible place to be, so we don't go there.
But yeah.
So, yeah. But LinkedIn.
LinkedIn and
Yeah.
obviously your book in the description. there.
Yeah, we can send links to everything.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we're always
okay.
happy to chat, obviously.
I think that's
it.
Yeah, I think that's everything then. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I think everyone can see all of our other links in the description to all the other episodes and everything else. Which you guys should watch too and give us views.
Yeah. yeah.
Are they all like online?
Soon to be, I think, very soon, but then they will be uploaded. I think we have a lot of people from Lucid who I've also interviewed.
Yeah, I think if you could.
Yeah, a lot of Lucid people.
That's-
So yeah, thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,